The sages of old did not seek to acquire gold, they sought to become gold. They understood, with a clarity that has been lost to the noise of ages, that the outer world of form is but a shadow cast by the inner world of frequency. We have forgotten this. We have been taught to chase the shadows, to run ourselves ragged in the pursuit of phantoms. You have been taught that your value is something to be earned, a prize to be won through struggle and sacrifice. You have spent a lifetime measuring your worth by the clarity and size of these fleeting shapes on the wall, believing that the more you accumulate, the more whole you will become. And yet, here you are, perhaps tired, perhaps feeling a quiet, persistent ache of dissatisfaction, a sense that no matter how much you achieve, there is an emptiness that the currency of things cannot fill. What if the entire premise was flawed? What if money is not something you chase, but something you are? What if prosperity is not a destination to be reached, but a frequency to be tuned into? A song the universe is always singing, waiting for you to learn the melody. This is the journey we are about to embark upon together. A journey into what we will call the sacred money codes. These are not complex algorithms or external secrets to be learned. They are not locked in a vault or hidden in an ancient text. They are states of being, dormant frequencies within your very own soul, waiting for the resonance of your awareness to awaken them. They are the internal shifts in consciousness that unlock the external flow of universal abundance. This journey is not about learning how to get more, but how to be more. It is a quiet rebellion against the culture of lack, and a deep returning to the silent, infinite wellspring of prosperity that is your birthright. It is an invitation to stop chasing the shadows on the wall and to turn inward, to tend to the fire that casts them. Because when you become the light, the shadows take care of themselves. So, let go of what you think you know about wealth, about work, about worth. Find a quiet space. Allow your body to soften. Allow your breath to deepen. We are not going outward to conquer a world. We are going inward to remember a universe that has always and will always be yours. We begin by gently examining the foundation upon which your entire reality of wealth has been built. It is a foundation so vast, so pervasive, that you may not even recognize it as a construction. To you, it simply is. It is the world. This foundation is the great misconception, the silent agreement that the value of your life, the measure of your security, and the scope of your freedom are determined by the currency of things. From your first breath, you were initiated into this system. You learned that coins have weight, that paper has a promise printed upon it, and that numbers on a screen hold the power to either grant you peace or sentence you to a state of perpetual anxiety. This currency of things is tangible. You can touch it, count it, lose it, and gain it. It dictates where you live, what you eat, how you dress, and the work you do. It is the language of the world, the engine of society, the grid upon which modern life is mapped. To deny its power would be to deny the reality you see with your own eyes. And we are not here to deny that reality, but to understand it for what it truly is. A secondary system, an echo, a translation of a language far more ancient and infinitely more powerful. You have been conditioned to be fluent in this secondary language. You spend your days managing its flow, worrying about its scarcity, and planning your life around its acquisition. Your mind has become a masterful accountant of this external currency. It calculates risk, it assesses opportunity, it budgets fear and allocates hope. This constant mental accounting creates a subtle, persistent hum of tension in your nervous system. It is the low-grade fever of a soul that has been taught to look for its sustenance outside of itself. The currency of things operates on a logic of separation. There is you, and there is the money you need. There is your labor, and there is the wage you are given for it. It is a world of subjects and objects, of haves and have-nots, of earning and deserving. It is a paradigm of effort, of striving, of pushing against a world that seems, by default, to be withholding. And so you push. You work harder, you plan smarter, you worry more efficiently. You believe that if you can just manipulate the world of things correctly, if you can just arrange the pieces on the board in the right way, you will finally feel the security and abundance you crave. But this feeling remains elusive, does it not? Even when the numbers on the screen are high, a deeper unease often remains. The fear of loss, the pressure of maintenance, the hollow feeling that you have become a custodian of things rather than a master of your own being. This is because the universe, in its infinite intelligence, does not transact in this language. The cosmos does not count your coins. The life force that animates you does not check your bank balance. There is a deeper economy at play, a primary currency that underpins the entire world of form. This is the currency of being. Unlike the currency of things, which is external and finite, the currency of being is internal and infinite. It is the energetic signature you broadcast in every single moment. It is the quality of your presence, the vibration of your emotional state, the frequency of your consciousness. Think of a moment you felt truly, deeply rich, a moment that had nothing to do with money. Perhaps it was the overwhelming peace of watching a sunset paint the sky in colors no artist could replicate. Perhaps it was the unqualified joy of genuine laughter shared with someone you love. Perhaps it was the profound stillness you felt in a forest, surrounded by ancient trees, feeling a sense of connection to something larger than your individual self. In those moments, you were experiencing true wealth. You were fluent in the currency of being. Your emotional state was one of expansion, of peace, of gratitude, of love. This feeling, this energetic state, is the most valuable commodity in the cosmos. It is the only currency that spirit recognizes. This is the great secret that has been hidden in plain sight. You have been chasing the reflection in the mirror while ignoring the face that is casting it. The currency of things is the reflection. The currency of being is your face. The entire material world, in all its detail and complexity, is a feedback system for your state of being. The universe is not giving you things. It is matching your frequency. When your primary currency is fear, anxiety, and a feeling of lack, the universe, as a faithful mirror, orchestrates a reality that reflects that poverty of spirit. It delivers experiences that validate your fear. It presents you with circumstances that confirm your belief in scarcity. When your primary currency is peace, trust, and a deep-seated knowing of your own worthiness, the universe must, by its very law, arrange a reality that reflects that wealth of being. It magnetizes opportunities, it orchestrates synchronicities, it delivers resources that match the frequency of your inner abundance. Let us use an image. Imagine you are standing in a field on a brisk autumn day. A great gust of wind sweeps through the trees, and 1,000 golden leaves are sent spiraling through the air. The currency of things is the leaves. The great misconception teaches you that your job is to run around and catch as many of these individual leaves as you can, and so you dash about, frantic and breathless. You lunge for one, and as you grasp it, 10 more dance past you. You fill your pockets, but your hands are never fast enough. There is always another leaf just out of reach. Your focus is on the leaves. Your energy is spent on the chase. Your reality is one of effort, competition, and the constant nagging feeling of not enough. This is the life of chasing the currency of things. It is exhausting, and it is ultimately futile, because you are trying to control the effect while being utterly ignorant of the cause. Now, change your perspective. Take a deep breath. Stand still in that same field. Feel the air on your skin. Instead of focusing on the leaves, become aware of the wind. The wind is the invisible force that moves all the leaves. It is the prime mover, the silent power, the unseen cause. The leaves do not decide where they will go. They are simply surrendered to the current. What if you were not the frantic chaser of leaves? What if your only job was to become the wind? To become the wind is to cease focusing on the external world of things. It is to turn your full attention inward to the cultivation of your own energetic state, your being. Your peace becomes the gentle breeze. Your joy becomes the playful gust. Your unwavering trust in abundance becomes the great, steady current that moves through the entire field. When you are the wind, you do not need to chase the leaves. By your very nature, by your very presence, you set them in motion. The entire forest of prosperity sways and dances in response to you. The leaves, the symbols of wealth, the currency of things, now flow towards you and around you, not as a reward for your frantic efforts, but as a natural, effortless consequence of what you have become. This is the fundamental shift in perception that this journey requires. It is the turning of your gaze from the effect to the cause, from the leaf to the wind, from the currency of things to the currency of being. This does not mean you are to become passive or neglect your worldly responsibilities. The wind is not passive. It is a dynamic, powerful force. It means your actions will now spring from a different source. They will no longer be the frantic lunges of a leaf chaser, born of fear and lack. They will be the confident, aligned movements of the wind itself, born of inner fullness and trust. You will work, but you will not toil. You will create, but you will not struggle. You will transact in the world of things, but you will know that your true wealth is not in your hands. It is in your heart. It is the frequency you hold, the presence you embody. This is the first, most crucial key to unlocking the sacred money codes. To understand that you have been trading in the wrong currency, and to begin, right now, in this very moment, to value the immeasurable richness of your own being above all else. You have now considered the possibility that your reality operates on two distinct currencies, the tangible currency of things and the far more potent, invisible currency of being. And as this idea settles into your consciousness, a question, a feeling, a powerful objection naturally arises. It may sound something like this: if my state of being is the true cause of my prosperity, why is my default state so often one of anxiety? If peace is the frequency of abundance, why does the cold grip of fear around money feel so real, so instinctive, so me? This is a vital question, and the answer lies in understanding that the fear you feel is most likely not entirely your own. You are hearing an echo. You are feeling a ghost. You are running a program that was installed long before you, as an individual consciousness even arrived. We call this the scarcity echo. It is a phantom vibration, a tremor that has traveled through the river of your bloodline for generations. It is the accumulated, unhealed trauma of every ancestor who ever survived a famine, lost a harvest, fled a war, or watched their life's work crumble into dust. It is the cellular memory of struggle, the psychic residue of survival. Close your eyes and feel it for a moment. That familiar tightness in your chest when an unexpected bill arrives, that frantic, looping thought process that calculates worst-case scenarios in the dead of night, that hollow feeling in the pit of your stomach when you compare your life to another's. Does it feel fresh and new, or does it feel ancient? Does it feel like a rational response to your current circumstances, or does it feel like a disproportionately powerful, almost mythic force that takes possession of you? This force, this ghost in your machine, is the scarcity echo. It is a survival program that was once essential. For your ancestors, believing in lack, fearing the worst, and constantly striving against a hostile world was a strategy that kept them alive. It kept the granary full for winter. It kept them vigilant against attack. That fear was a tool. But you are not living in that world. You are a being awakening to the truth of an abundant universe, yet you are still running the obsolete software of a world defined by scarcity. And how was this software passed to you? It was not merely in the stories they told, it was in the very energy they carried. It was transmitted to you in the womb, a subtle frequency of your mother's anxieties about the future. It was absorbed by you as a child at the dinner table, in the unspoken tension between your parents as they discussed the bills. It was coded into you through their well-intentioned yet fear-based advice. Work hard or you'll have nothing. Save your money for a rainy day, which is a command to the universe to create rainy days. Don't get your hopes up. These were not just words, they were energetic transmissions. They were spells cast with the intention of protection, but their effect was to lock you into a vibrational prison. This prison is so familiar, you have come to mistake it for home. This echo is so constant, you have mistaken it for your own voice. Beyond your family, this echo is amplified into a deafening roar by the collective consciousness of society. The news media, the economic systems, the advertising industry, they are all built upon and perpetuate the myth of scarcity. They thrive on your belief that you are incomplete, unsafe, and in constant need of something outside of yourself to be whole. You are swimming in an ocean of scarcity consciousness, so it is no wonder you have forgotten the memory of the abundant shores from which you came. Let us now tend to this condition with the greatest compassion, using a new image. See your mind, your pure consciousness, as a plot of land. It is a piece of sacred, fertile ground. Its soil is rich with infinite potential, capable of growing the most magnificent creations, the most beautiful realities. This sacred ground is your birthright. It is your true nature. Now, look closer at this garden. It is overrun with weeds. There are the deep, stubborn roots of the weed called "there is not enough." There are the thorny, creeping vines of "I am not worthy." There is the thick, light-blocking foliage of "life is a struggle." You have lived with this overgrowth for so long, you have come to believe that you are a garden of weeds. You have identified with the struggle, with the thorns, with the lack of light. You have concluded, "This is just who I am. I am an anxious person. I am someone who worries about money." But this is the greatest illusion. You are not the weeds. You are the sacred ground itself. The weeds are not you. They are ancient, invasive species that were planted in your garden long before you were given stewardship of it. Their seeds were carried on the winds of time, blown from the struggling gardens of your parents, and their parents, and their parents before them. They are not your fault. They are not your identity. They are simply there. So what does a wise gardener do? A novice, angry gardener might try to attack the weeds. They might curse them, try to rip them out with violence and frustration. But this aggression only serves to spread the seeds of the weeds even further. It churns up the soil in a way that makes it even more hospitable to their return. The wise gardener, the conscious gardener, understands a different approach. They do not hate the weeds. They practice a form of loving archaeology. They kneel down. They look at a weed, the weed of anxiety, for instance. They see its form. They gently feel its roots, and they acknowledge its story. They say with compassion, "I see you. I understand you grew here because my ancestors needed you for their survival. You taught them to be vigilant. You protected them. I thank you for your service." And in this moment of conscious, loving acknowledgement, something miraculous happens. The weed's energetic hold on the soil begins to loosen. And then, with gentleness and intention, the gardener can pull it out, root and all, not with violence, but with a sense of liberation. They are not destroying an enemy. They are clearing the space for light. They are making room for the seeds they truly wish to plant. The seeds of peace, of trust, of effortless abundance. This is your work now. It is the sacred act of weeding your own inner garden. It is the process of disidentification from the scarcity echo. The first step is not to fight the fear, but to simply hear it for what it is. The next time the familiar tightness rises in your chest, do not become it. Do not fuse with it. Instead, take a step back in your consciousness and observe it. Greet it as you would an old, weary traveler from a forgotten land. Say to it, silently or out loud, "Ah, there you are, the scarcity echo. I hear you. You sound like my grandmother's fear of the war. You feel like my father's stress about his business. I recognize you now. You are the memory of ancestral lack." In that moment of recognition, you cease to be the victim of the feeling and become the witness of it. You pull your own divine consciousness out of the tangled roots of the program. You are no longer the program. You are the light of awareness shining upon it. This does not mean the echo will vanish overnight. It has been running for centuries, but with each conscious observation, with each compassionate acknowledgement, its power over you diminishes. You are reclaiming the sacred ground of your mind, one breath at a time. You are honoring the past, but you are no longer bound by it. You are choosing, with the authority of a conscious creator, to plant a new garden. Having heard the ancient scarcity echo that vibrates within your cells, we can now examine the architecture of the prison it has built around your soul. It is a prison with no visible bars, no stone walls, yet it is more confining than any physical jail. It is the prison of earning it. Its foundations are poured from the bedrock belief that you are born into a state of spiritual debt, that you arrive here fundamentally lacking, and you must spend the entirety of your life working, struggling, and sacrificing to prove your worthiness of joy, of peace, and of abundance. The mantras of this prison are whispered into your mind from birth, reinforced by culture and policed by your own inner critic. No pain, no gain. You have to work hard for your money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Each of these phrases is a brick in the wall of your confinement. They create a reality where ease is suspicious, where rest incites guilt, and where receiving a gift or a simple compliment triggers an immediate, uncomfortable sense of indebtedness. This prison is the direct and logical consequence of the scarcity echo. Because you feel the ancestral vibration of lack, your ego, in its attempt to make sense of the world, concludes that you are lack. It decides that your natural state is one of unworthiness. And if you are inherently unworthy, then you must do something to remedy this condition. You must embark on a lifelong quest to earn your place in the sun. This quest becomes your identity. You become the striver, the hard worker, the one who endures. You wear your exhaustion as a badge of honor, a testament to your effort. The warden of this prison is that relentless voice inside your head, the inner taskmaster that keeps a running tally of your efforts and shortcomings. It is the voice that tells you that you haven't done enough, that you aren't good enough yet, that you must try harder, be more productive, sacrifice more of your joy at the altar of future security. It promises you that one day, if you just work hard enough, you will finally reach a tipping point. You will have paid your dues. You will have earned the right to relax and receive. But that day never comes. The goalposts are always moving, because the prison is not a place, it is a belief system. And you cannot escape a belief system by working harder within its rules. You can only escape it by recognizing that the entire system is a lie. Let us examine the flawed logic of this prison and contrast it with the flawless logic of the universe. The logic of the ego, the warden of your prison, is transactional and conditional. It operates on a linear timeline of cause and effect. First, I must perform an action of sufficient difficulty or suffering. This action is the price I pay. Second, once the price is paid, I will be judged as worthy. Third, upon receiving a verdict of worthy, the universe will release to me the reward of abundance. It is a model of if, then. If I sacrifice, then I will receive. This entire model is built on the premise of your initial unworthiness. It presumes a cold, judgmental universe that withholds its gifts until you have sufficiently proven yourself. But this is a projection of the human ego onto the divine. It is not the truth. The logic of the universe is not transactional, it is resonant. The universe operates on a principle of unconditional giving and energetic reflection. Its logic is precisely the reverse of the ego's. It says, first, you must accept your own inherent, unconditional worthiness. This worthiness is not earned. It is your birthright as a piece of the cosmos. Second, you must embody this feeling of worthiness. You must feel it in your bones. It must become your dominant state of being. Third, the universe, which is a perfect and impartial mirror, will then reflect your inner state of worthiness back to you as the outer experience of abundance. Its model is not if, then. Its model is be, and you will see. Be worthy, and you will see wealth. Be peace, and you will see a peaceful world. Be love, and you will see a loving world. The action is not the price you pay for the reward. The action is the natural, effortless expression of a state of being you have already embodied. To make this clearer, let us look to nature, the greatest scripture of the universe. Does a rosebush struggle and toil, hoping to prove itself worthy of producing a single bloom? Does it anguish over whether it has earned the right to express its own beauty? Number. It simply draws nutrients from the soil, receives light from the sun, and in a state of profound surrender to its own nature, it blooms. The bloom is not a reward for its hard work. The bloom is the inevitable, glorious expression of its own essence. Does the ocean strive and strain to prove it is worthy of being vast? Does it send an invoice to the cosmos for every wave that crashes on the shore? Number. Its vastness is its nature. The waves are the expression of that nature. Now look at yourself. You, a being in whom the entire universe has conspired to create consciousness, believe that you are less worthy than a flower. You, a vessel of stardust and divine intelligence, believe you must justify your existence in a way that the ocean does not. The prison of earning it has convinced you that this absurd, unnatural logic applies only to you. This brings us to our central image for dismantling this prison. Imagine the sun. It hangs in the center of our solar system, a blazing, inexhaustible sphere of light, heat, and life-giving energy. Now imagine the Earth, turning in space, receiving this energy. The sun does not send the Earth a bill for its light. It does not demand that the Earth perform geological feats to prove its worthiness of warmth. The sun does not check the Earth's karmic balance sheet before allowing a sunrise. The sun simply shines. It pours out its essence unconditionally, ceaselessly, and without prejudice, because shining is its fundamental nature. And the Earth, in its own nature, simply receives. It is a perfect, non-transactional relationship of unconditional giving and open receiving. For millennia, you have been taught to see yourself as the planet. You have been taught that you are the cold, dark, needy body, and that God, or the universe, or abundance, is the distant sun. And so you spend your life spinning and striving, performing rituals of hard work and sacrifice, hoping to earn a few of the precious rays from that external source. This is the very essence of the prison of unworthiness. But here is the truth that will shatter its walls. You are not the planet. You have never been the planet. You are a sun. The core of your being, your true self, your soul, is a star forged from the exact same fire as the creative source of all that is. Your fundamental nature is to shine. The problem is not that you are unworthy of receiving the light. The problem is that you have forgotten that you are the light, and you have spent your entire life trying to earn from the outside what already exists in infinite supply within. The way out of this prison, therefore, is not to work harder. The way out is to stop. It is to cease all effort to prove your worth. The escape is an act of radical self-permission. It is the decision to stop earning and to start allowing. It is the conscious choice to grant yourself the grace that the universe has been offering you all along. Right now, in this moment, you can begin. Take a breath, and as you exhale, give yourself permission. Permission to exist without justification, permission to rest without apology, permission to receive a gift with a simple, open thank you, free from the poison of perceived debt, permission to feel joy just because you are alive. This is the key that turns the lock. Your existence is your permission slip. Your breath is your certificate of worthiness. You do not need to earn the abundance of the universe. You only need to accept that you are, and have always been, an inseparable and deserving part of it. Stop trying to earn the light. Lay down your arms, abandon the struggle, and simply give yourself permission to shine. We have walked together through the shadows. We have illuminated the prison of unworthiness and listened with compassion to the ancient echoes of scarcity. We have deconstructed the great myths that have kept your soul in chains. And now, we arrive at a turning point. We turn from what is false to what is eternally true. For so long, you have been a seeker. You have looked for answers in books, in teachings, in philosophies, in the words of others. You have searched for the secret key, the hidden formula, the lost code that, once found, would finally unlock the gates to the life you desire. This seeking is born from a noble intention, a deep yearning to connect with a greater truth. Yet, the very act of seeking contains a subtle poison. It reinforces the belief that the answer is out there. It perpetuates the illusion that you are here, incomplete, and the power is somewhere else, separate from you. It keeps you in a state of perpetual pilgrimage, always arriving, but never truly home. Today, this search ends. The pilgrimage is over. I am here to tell you that the code you have been searching for is not written in any scripture. It is not guarded by any master. It is not a complex sequence of actions or affirmations you must learn. The first, the last, the most potent and profound sacred code is, and has always been, you, yourself. The pure, unconditioned consciousness that is experiencing this moment, the silent, still presence that existed before you, were given a name, and that will exist after all your stories have faded. This is the great revelation that turns the seeker into a finder, and the finder into a beamer. You are not looking for the source of power. You are the source of power that is learning to recognize itself. To shift your focus from seeking the code to being the code is the most significant leap of consciousness you will ever make. It is the journey from the mind, which always seeks, to the soul, which simply is. So what is this self? What is this resonance we speak of? It is the feeling of I am that sits behind everything else. Before you are a man or a woman, before you are a success or a failure, before you are wealthy or poor, you simply are. This fundamental amness is the bedrock of your existence. It is the silent watcher behind your thoughts, the calm depth beneath the turbulent waves of your emotions. It has no history, no future, no agenda. It is pure, timeless presence. And this presence, this core of your being, has a unique vibration, a frequency that is yours, and yours alone. It is your soul's fingerprint, your unique energetic signature in the cosmos. This is the resonance of self. It is the sound your being makes when it is in perfect alignment with its own truth, free from the distortions of fear, conditioning, and the need for external approval. For most of your life, this pure sound has been muffled. Imagine a flawless crystal bell. This bell is your soul. But over time, it has been covered in layers of mud and grime. The mud of the scarcity echo, the grime of unworthiness, the thick dust of societal expectations. The bell is still perfect, but when struck, the sound it produces is dull, dissonant, and heavy. You have become so accustomed to this distorted sound that you believe it is the only sound the bell can make. The spiritual journey, the path to prosperity, is not about trying to find a better bell. It is the patient, loving process of cleaning your own. It is about dissolving the layers of who you are not, so that the pure resonance of who you truly are can finally ring out, clear and true. To understand how this functions, let us use our most important metaphor yet. Imagine that you, in your essential nature, are a tuning fork. You were forged in the heart of creation to vibrate at a very specific, pure, and beautiful frequency. This is your home frequency. It is the frequency of your authentic joy, your unique purpose, and your innate peace. When you are aligned with your true self, you are vibrating at this home frequency. Now, what is the nature of a tuning fork? When you strike it, it vibrates and sends out a signal, a wave of sound at its specific pitch. The magic, however, lies in the universal law of sympathetic resonance. If you take that vibrating tuning fork and bring it into a room filled with hundreds of other tuning forks of all different pitches, something miraculous will occur. Only the tuning forks that are designed to vibrate at the exact same frequency as the one you struck will begin to hum. They will absorb the energy you sent out and begin to vibrate in sympathy without ever being touched. They cannot help but respond. It is a law of physics. This is the secret of creation. The universe, the quantum field, is this great hall filled with an infinite number of unstruck tuning forks. There is a tuning fork for everything you can imagine. There is one for the perfect home, for a loving relationship, for a creative insight, for a healing opportunity. And yes, there is a tuning fork for every possible expression of financial wealth, from an unexpected check in the mail to a global business empire. They are all there, silent, dormant, waiting. For your entire life, you have been trying to run around the hall and manually strike the tuning forks you want. You have been trying to make money, to force opportunities, to chase love. It is an exhausting and inefficient process. The prison of unworthiness and the echo of scarcity have caused your own tuning fork yourself to vibrate at a distorted, low frequency. A frequency of fear, of struggle, of not enough. And so, by the perfect law of resonance, you have been activating the tuning forks of lack, of difficult circumstances, of financial struggle. The universe is not punishing you. It is simply matching your signal perfectly and without judgment. The sacred code, then, is to stop running around the hall. It is to ignore all the other tuning forks. Your only job is to return to your own instrument, yourself, and focus all your intention on causing it to ring with its own pure, true home frequency. Your only work is to be you, to be your most authentic, joyful, peaceful self. When you do this, when you vibrate at the frequency of your own sovereign soul, you send out a clear and powerful signal. And the universe, in its infinite perfection, must respond. The tuning forks of wealth, of health, of joy, of love, all the things that share your new frequency will begin to vibrate in sympathy. They will come alive. They will be drawn into your experience, not because you chase them, but because you call them home with the song of your own being. So how do you strike your own tuning fork? How do you attune to the resonance of self? It is a practice of subtraction, not addition. It is about undoing, not doing. You find moments of quiet in your day. You sit, you breathe, and you ask a simple question. Who am I behind my name, my history, my problems, my desires? You let the thoughts and labels float by like clouds. You are not your thoughts. You are the sky in which they appear. You feel the sensations in your body. You are not the sensations. You are the silent awareness that perceives them. As you let go of the labels, you will touch upon a feeling of simple, calm, aware presence. It may be faint at first, but it is there. That feeling is your home frequency. That is the resonance of self. Your practice is to touch this feeling as often as you can, for a minute, for a few seconds, in line at the grocery store, waiting for a traffic light to change. Each time you consciously return to that feeling of simple amness, you are striking your tuning fork. You are cleaning the bell. You are broadcasting your true signal into the great hall of creation. Stop searching for the code. You are the code. Stop looking for the key to unlock the door. You are the key, and you are the door. Your only task, and your greatest power, is to return to the simple, profound, and magnificent resonance of your own being. Be unapologetically, authentically, peacefully yourself. That is the beginning and the end of all true magic. We have now established the most fundamental truth of your creative power, that you yourself, in your purest state of being, are the first sacred code. Your authentic resonance is the signal that you broadcast into the cosmos. The question that logically follows is, how does the cosmos receive this signal? What is the mechanism by which your inner state of being translates into the outer world of form and experience? The answer to this lies in understanding a law as fundamental and as impartial as gravity. It is the law of energetic reflection, and to grasp it is to move forever from a position of perceived victimhood to one of absolute sovereignty. From birth, you have been conditioned to believe that life happens to you. You see yourself as a small, separate self, navigating a vast and unpredictable world. In this model, the universe is an external entity. It is a force, a fate, a god, or a chaotic system of chance that acts upon you. It deals you a hand of cards, and your job is to play that hand as best you can. Success is a stroke of good luck. Failure is a turn of bad fortune. You are at the mercy of the economy, of politics, of other people's choices, of circumstances beyond your control. This perception creates a reality of powerlessness. It makes you a ship tossed on the waves of an indifferent ocean. We are here today to completely and irrevocably dismantle this illusion. The universe is not an external entity acting upon you. The universe is a field of consciousness responding to you. The world is not a solid, separate stage on which you are a mere actor. The world is a fluid, energetic mirror that offers you a perfect, non-judgmental reflection of your own consciousness in every moment. This is not a comforting philosophy. It is the operating physics of reality. You are not a ship on the ocean. You are the weather pattern that determines whether the seas are calm or stormy. You are not a victim of your life. You are its sole and constant creator, a creator who has simply forgotten their own power. Understanding this law, the law of energetic reflection, is the key to consciously using the sacred code that is you. To make this law visceral and real, imagine this. You awaken one morning not in your bed, but standing in an infinite hall of mirrors. The floor is a mirror, the ceiling is a mirror, and in every direction, the walls are flawless, polished mirrors stretching into eternity. Everywhere you look, you see only one thing, your own reflection, repeated into infinity. You are alone, yet surrounded by a countless host of yourself. Now, observe what happens when you interact with this space. If a gentle, peaceful smile forms on your lips, every single reflection in that infinite hall smiles back at you at the very same instant. The entire universe, as far as you can see, is filled with warmth, acceptance, and joy. It is a friendly and welcoming place. If, however, you allow a frown of worry or fear to crease your brow, every reflection instantly mirrors that frown. The universe becomes a grim, hostile, and intimidating environment. The atmosphere chills. If you raise your fist in anger and frustration, 1,000,000 angry fists are raised back at you in a silent, menacing threat. If you collapse to the floor in despair, the entire universe collapses with you, reflecting a reality of hopelessness from every possible angle. But if you stand tall, open your arms wide in a gesture of loving embrace and total acceptance, A million versions of you open their arms to embrace you in return. Now, consider the nature of these mirrors. They have no opinion. They have no preference. They have no agenda of their own. They do not judge your expression. They do not decide that a smile is good and a frown is bad. They do not withhold the smile because you haven't earned it, nor do they punish you for your anger. Their one and only function is to reflect, with flawless and impersonal precision, the image that you provide. This is the universe, your life. In all its intricate detail, your financial status, the state of your relationships, the condition of your health, the opportunities that appear or fail to appear is this hall of mirrors. Your inner state, your dominant resonance, your state of being, is the expression you are holding on your face. The circumstances of your life are not random. They are not rewards or punishments. They are simply reflections. They are energetic feedback, showing you with perfect accuracy what signal you are broadcasting. With this understanding, your entire approach to life must change. You must learn to decode the reflections. When you look at your bank account and see a reflection of lack, the old model would cause you to panic and scramble in the external world. The new understanding invites you to pause and ask, what is this reflection showing me about my inner state? What expression am I holding on my face that is causing the mirror to show me this? Is it the frown of the scarcity echo? Is it the downcast eyes of unworthiness? The financial lack is not the problem. It is a symptom. It is a loving, albeit uncomfortable, message from the universe, pointing you back toward a dissonance within yourself. It is a dashboard light, begging you to look under the hood. To try and change your financial situation by working harder out of a state of fear and lack is like standing in front of the mirror and trying to wipe the smudge of worry off the reflection's face. It is an act of utter futility. You can scrub at the mirror for a lifetime, but the smudge will remain because the source of the smudge is on your own face. The change must always, and can only, happen at the point of origin. You. When you see a reflection, you do not like, be it one of poverty, loneliness, or illness. Your work is not to attack the reflection. Your work is to go inside, to change your own expression, to do the inner work of cultivating the feeling of abundance, of love, of vitality first. And then the mirror must change. It has no choice. It is the law. This transforms you from a powerless reactor to a conscious originator. You are no longer living at the mercy of the reflections. You are standing in the center of your reality, knowingly choosing the expression you wish the universe to mirror back to you. This is true sovereignty. This is what it means to be a conscious creator. Your daily practice becomes one of exquisite emotional and energetic hygiene. Before you engage with your day, before you look at the mirror of the world, you first check your own face. What energy am I embodying right now? Am I holding the expression of trust or the expression of fear? Am I emanating peace or broadcasting anxiety? You understand that the state you hold internally is the reality you are commanding the universe to reflect externally. You stop pleading with the world to be different. You stop negotiating with the mirror. You cannot persuade a mirror. It has no ears to hear your pleas, no heart to be moved by your story. It only has eyes to see your truth, your energetic truth. Therefore, hold the expression of the reality you desire. Feel the feeling of the wealth you wish to have, the love you wish to experience, the peace you wish to inhabit. Feel it now, without any external evidence. Hold that as your face. And then watch, with quiet and confident expectation, as the great mirror of the universe flawlessly rearranges itself to show you what you have become. This is not hope. This is not magic. This is the law. We have established that you are the sacred code, the resonant being at the center of your reality. We have understood that the universe operates as an unwavering mirror, flawlessly reflecting your inner state back to you as the circumstances of your life. Now, we must refine our understanding with surgical precision. We must ask, what exactly is the signal that the mirror reflects? What is the specific language that the universe understands and responds to? For many on a path of conscious creation, there is a great deal of confusion here. You have been told to use affirmations, to repeat positive statements, to think positive thoughts. You have written "I am wealthy" 1,000 times in a journal. You have stood in front of your own mirror and declared "I am abundant" until your voice was hoarse. And yet, for many, the reflection in the great mirror of life did not change. The bank account remained empty, the opportunities remained scarce. This is one of the most common and painful frustrations on the spiritual path, and it leads many to abandon these principles, believing they do not work. The principles do work. They are working perfectly, all the time. The issue is not in the law, but in a misunderstanding of the language. The universe does not speak English. It does not speak any human language. It does not primarily process logical sentences or cognitive thoughts. To believe so is to project a limitation of the human mind onto the infinite intelligence of the cosmos. Your mind can produce thousands of thoughts in a single hour, many of them contradictory. "I am abundant," followed immediately by, "How will I pay this bill? I trust the universe," followed by a jolt of anxiety about the future. If the universe responded to your thoughts alone, your reality would be an incomprehensible chaos, a flickering, unstable projection of your own mental static. There is a deeper, more powerful, and far more honest signal that it tunes into. That signal is the universal language, the one that needs no translation, the one that is understood in every corner of existence. It is the language of feeling. It is your emotional state. This is the vibrational currency of reality. Your feelings, not your thoughts, are the true creative force. An emotion is not merely a psychological event. It is a profound psychophysiological and energetic event. When you experience an emotion, a complex cascade of chemicals is released into your bloodstream, changing your body's entire state of being in an instant. More importantly, your heart, which generates a measurable electromagnetic field that is thousands of times more powerful than the field generated by your brain, radiates this emotional signature outward. This field, shaped and informed by the quality of your feeling, is the signal that imprints itself upon the quantum field. It is the real message you are sending to the unwavering mirror. This is why you can repeat an affirmation like "I am wealthy" for years with no effect. If the feeling you embody while saying it is one of desperation or lack, you are speaking one language with your mouth, while screaming its opposite with your heart. The universe, which always responds to the more powerful and authentic transmission, will faithfully ignore your words and deliver to you a perfect reflection of your feeling of lack. Feeling is the bridge between the world of spirit and the world of matter. It is the language that the soul uses to communicate with the body, and it is the language the unified soul-body system uses to communicate with the universe. Let us reframe this with a powerful metaphor that you must integrate deeply. Every sustained feeling you hold is a wordless prayer. You are praying constantly, every moment of every day, not with your words, but with the currency of your emotions. When you walk through your day feeling a sustained sense of gratitude, not just a fleeting thought of it, but the warm, expansive feeling of thankfulness in your chest, you are engaged in a powerful and effective prayer. You are broadcasting the frequency of "I have so much, I am so blessed." You are praying the prayer of appreciation. The universe, as the perfect mirror, hears this prayer and responds in the only way it can. As you feel, so it is. Let me give you more experiences that will generate this feeling of gratitude. And so, opportunities, kindnesses, and unexpected windfalls appear, a perfect reflection of your prayer. Now consider the opposite. When you live in a state of sustained anxiety, that familiar knot of tension in your stomach, that frantic energy in your mind, you are also praying. You are praying with fervent, unwavering devotion. You are screaming into the cosmos the prayer of fear. Things are going to go wrong. I am not safe. There is not enough. And the universe, which is impartial and unconditionally honors your creative power, hears this powerful prayer and responds with perfect fidelity. As you feel, so it is. Let me provide you with more circumstances, more bills, more challenges to justify and validate this feeling of anxiety you are choosing to broadcast. Likewise, the feeling of resentment is a prayer for more injustice. The feeling of loneliness is a prayer for more isolation. The feeling of joy is a prayer for more delight. The feeling of peace is a prayer for a reality of harmony and flow. This understanding shifts everything. It moves you from being a passive experiencer of emotions to an active wielder of them. Your feelings are not just reactions to the world, they are the very causal agents that are creating the world you are reacting to. This is the feedback loop you must become conscious of. The mastery of this law, then, is not about becoming unfeeling or suppressing what are often called negative emotions. To suppress a feeling is an act of resistance, and what you resist persists. Suppressing anxiety is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes tremendous effort, and the moment you lose focus, it erupts to the surface with even greater force. The goal is not suppression, but conscious transformation. It is the art of becoming a conscious feeler, a master of your own vibrational currency. The practice is simple, though not always easy. It begins with mindful awareness. Throughout your day, pause and ask, what currency am I spending right now? What am I feeling? Name the emotion without judgment. This is anxiety. The moment you name it, you create a space between you, the awareness, and it, the emotion. Then, acknowledge its prayer. I recognize that this feeling is a prayer for more chaos and uncertainty. Then comes the pivot. You do not fight the anxiety. You simply introduce a competing prayer. You consciously choose to change your vibrational channel. You can do this by asking a new question. In this moment, what is one thing, however small, that I can feel genuine gratitude for? Perhaps it is the chair that is supporting you. Perhaps it is the gift of your breath, moving in and out of your body without any effort. Perhaps it is the memory of a loved one's smile. Find one small thing that is undeniably true and good, and focus on it. Let the feeling of gratitude for that one thing begin to blossom in your heart. You may only be able to hold it for 10 seconds. That is 10 seconds you were not praying the prayer of anxiety. You were spending the currency of gratitude. You have just made a different energetic investment. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to shift your state. You are building a new emotional muscle. You are learning to consciously choose the prayers you send out. Your thoughts are the architects who draw the blueprint, but your feelings are the master builders who take that blueprint and construct the edifice of your reality. To become the master of your life, you must become fluent in the only language the universe truly understands. You must become a conscious spender of your vibrational currency. We have now arrived at a crucial understanding that the universe is an unwavering mirror reflecting your state of being, and that the language it understands is the vibrational currency of your feelings. This knowledge is power, but it can also feel like a burden. How can you possibly manage your feelings every moment when you live in a world of overwhelming noise? There is the outer noise, the relentless ping of notifications, the 24-hour news cycle broadcasting fear, the endless scroll of social media showcasing curated lives, the roar of traffic, the demands of work and family. This external cacophony is relentless, but it is nothing compared to the inner noise. The inner noise is the ceaseless chatter of your own mind, the voice of the inner critic, the planner, the worrier, The judge. It is the mind replaying past mistakes on a loop, projecting future catastrophes onto an imaginary screen, and offering a constant, running commentary on your present experience. This combined storm of inner and outer noise is the single greatest obstacle to your prosperity. It creates a thick, dense fog of energetic static that drowns out the very signal you are trying to find and broadcast. Your soul, your true self, is always, in every moment, whispering the codes of abundance. It is always broadcasting the subtle frequency of peace, of love, of innate worthiness, of connection to all things. This signal is your home frequency. It is quiet, it is calm, it is effortless. But the voice of the ego mind, conditioned by the scarcity echo, is loud, frantic, and demanding. It screams alarms about survival. It shouts warnings of impending doom. It insists on being heard. You cannot hear a whisper in a hurricane, and most of humanity is living their entire lives inside a self-generated hurricane of thought and feeling, completely deaf to the gentle, loving guidance that is always available to them. This is why you feel disconnected. This is why you feel lost. You have been listening to the storm, believing it is the only reality. The stillness protocol is the map that leads you out of the storm and into the serene, silent center. Let us begin by dismantling the myths that have made the practice of stillness or meditation seem like an impossible chore. You may have tried before and concluded, "I can't do it. I can't stop my thoughts. My mind is just too busy." This is like concluding you have failed at being by the ocean because you cannot stop the waves. The purpose of the stillness protocol is not, and has never been, to stop your thoughts. The mind is a thought-generating organ, just as the heart is a blood-pumping organ. To command it to stop thinking is to declare war on your own biology, a war you will never win. This struggle is what causes most people to give up. The true purpose of stillness is not to silence the mind, but to change your relationship to it. It is to learn to let the thoughts be there, without being swept away by them. Here is the central image to hold. Your mind is a hurricane. The violent, swirling outer bands are your chaotic, reactive thoughts and emotions. The fear, the anger, the planning, the doubt, they rage with tremendous force and noise. Most people live their lives being tossed about in these outer bands, believing that this chaos is all there is. But what lies at the center of every hurricane? There is the eye, a place of profound, inexplicable, and perfect calm. The winds still rage just a few miles away, but in the eye, the sky is clear, the air is still. You can see the stars. The stillness protocol is the practice of consciously moving your point of awareness from the violent periphery of the storm into its peaceful, silent eye. You are not trying to stop the storm. You are simply remembering that you are not the storm. You are the calm space at its center. The storm is an event happening within you, not the totality of who you are. Stillness is the journey home to this silent center. So how do we practice this? We do it with gentleness, with compassion, and without ambition. First, you give yourself permission. For 5 or 10 minutes, you grant yourself permission to do nothing. In a world that screams for constant productivity, this is a revolutionary act of self-care. You find a comfortable place to sit. You close your eyes, not to shut the world out, but to more clearly see your inner world. Next, you choose an anchor. The anchor is what you hold on to guide yourself into the eye of the storm. The simplest and most powerful anchor is always with you, your breath. You simply bring your gentle, curious attention to the sensation of the breath as it enters your body and as it leaves your body. You don't need to change it, control it, or judge it. Just feel it. The cool air entering your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. This simple physical sensation is your lifeline. Now, the most important part. Within seconds, the winds of the hurricane will begin to pull at you. A thought will arise. What am I making for dinner? Did I remember to send that email? Am I doing this right? This is not a failure. This is the nature of the mind. It is what the storm does. The practice in this moment is exquisitely simple. You just notice. Without judgment, without frustration, you notice that your attention has been carried away by a thought. You can even label it softly in your mind, thinking. And then, as gently and as lovingly as you would guide a lost child back home, you guide your attention back to your anchor, back to the feeling of the breath. That is all. You breathe. You get lost in thought. You notice. You return to the breath. This is the entire practice. Each time you notice you have been lost and you gently return, you have performed a miracle. You have strengthened the muscle of your awareness. You have chosen the silent center over the noisy periphery. You have reminded yourself that you are the sky, not the cloud. You are the eye of the storm. What do you find in this stillness? What awaits you in the eye? As the roar of the ego mind fades into the background, something else becomes audible. A whisper, a feeling. You begin to feel the subtle, underlying frequency that was there all along, drowned out by the noise. You may feel a sense of peace that is not dependent on your life circumstances being perfect. You may feel a quiet, unshakable sense of okayness. You may feel a connection to a loving, intelligent presence that permeates everything. This feeling is the resonance of self. This is your home frequency. This is the untainted signal of abundance, of worthiness, of trust. Stillness is the act of fine-tuning your inner radio, moving the dial away from the static-filled stations of the ego until you lock onto the clear, powerful broadcast of your soul. The stillness protocol is not an escape from your life. It is the essential, non-negotiable practice that allows you to find the true signal within, so that you can then broadcast it clearly and powerfully into the mirror of the world. You go into the silence to remember the song of your soul, so that you can return to the world and sing it with your entire life. Stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the sacred space where the whispers of the universe finally become louder than the fears of your mind. As you learn to sit in the eye of the storm, in the sacred center of your own stillness, you create a space of clarity. You have cleared the channel of the noise and static of the ego mind. The next question becomes, what signal do you now consciously choose to broadcast through this clear channel? While your authentic resonance of self is the foundational note, there is one frequency, one specific application of your consciousness that acts as the master key to unlock every door of abundance. It is a power so simple, it is often overlooked. A truth so profound, it is often mistaken for a mere platitude. This is the gratitude frequency. We must begin by elevating our understanding of gratitude far beyond the realm of simple manners. You have been taught gratitude as a social courtesy or a moral obligation. It is the polite thank you offer after receiving a gift. It is the dutiful counting of your blessings, often with an undercurrent of guilt, the thought that you should be grateful for what you have, because others have less. This form of gratitude, while well-intentioned, is superficial. It still operates within the paradigm of comparison and, often, of lack. True gratitude, the kind we speak of here, is not a social technology. It is a spiritual technology. It is one of the most powerful and efficient frequency shifters available to human consciousness. It is not an act of being polite to the universe. It is an act of speaking its native tongue. It is the ultimate affirmation, for it is a declaration not of what you want, but of what you already have. In a universe that operates as a perfect mirror, can you imagine a more powerful statement? It is a direct command, a heartfelt prayer, telling the cosmos with unshakable conviction, more of this, please. Let us examine the precise energetic mechanics of why this is so. Your mind, as we have discussed, has been conditioned by the scarcity echo to be a threat detection system. Its default setting is to scan your environment and your life for what is missing, what is wrong, what might be dangerous. This is a primitive survival program. When you are in this state, your focus on lack causes you to hold the corresponding expression of worry and neediness. The great mirror of life dutifully reflects this expression back to you as more circumstances that seem to be missing something. Gratitude is the conscious, willing override of this entire program. When you choose to feel gratitude, you are deliberately withdrawing your attention from the illusion of what is missing and placing it firmly on the truth of what is present. You are taking your energetic flashlight and shining it away from the imagined monsters in the dark corners and illuminating the treasures that are sitting right in front of you. As you shift your focus, you shift your entire energetic signature. You cannot genuinely feel gratitude and feel lack at the same time. The two frequencies are mutually exclusive. In the moment you are feeling true appreciation, your vibration is one of sufficiency, of fullness, of being provided for. You have changed the expression on your face, and the unwavering mirror has no choice but to begin reflecting this new, smiling, abundant image back to you. It is a law. Gratitude, therefore, is the ultimate hack for reality creation. It is the shortcut that bypasses the striving of the ego and aligns you directly with the frequency of your desired outcome. You want to feel abundant? Feel gratitude, which is the emotional signature of already being abundant. Let us return to our image of the room plunged into darkness. The darkness is your state of perceived lack. It is the worry, the anxiety, the feeling that you are not enough and do not have enough. Standing in this darkness, you feel lost, fearful, and powerless. The untrained response is to fight the darkness. You flail your arms at it, you curse it, you analyze its origins, you try to convince it to leave. But this is all wasted effort. Darkness is not a presence, it is merely the absence of light. You cannot fight an absence, you can only introduce a presence. Gratitude is the light switch in that dark room. Your only task is to find it and flip it. You do not need to wage a war against your feelings of scarcity. You simply need to turn on the light of gratitude. In the instant that you find one thing, however small, to be genuinely grateful for, you have flipped the switch. And in that instant, the darkness of lack does not flee or retreat. It simply ceases to exist within the space that the light now occupies. It is gone. The more you focus on that feeling of gratitude, the brighter the light becomes, illuminating more and more of the room, revealing that the treasures you thought were missing were actually there all along, merely shrouded in a shadow of your own making. This practice must become more than a mental list you make at the beginning or end of your day. It must become a state of being, woven into the very fabric of your moments. This is the practice of radical gratitude. It begins with the mundane. Feel a wave of genuine gratitude for the simple fact that when you turn the tap, clean water flows out, a miracle unavailable to billions. Feel gratitude for the chair that holds you, for the roof over your head, for the simple clothes on your skin. These are not small things. They are monumental blessings that your mind has labeled as normal and has therefore ceased to see. By seeing them again through the eyes of gratitude, you are praying the prayer of, "I am so deeply supported and provided for." From the mundane, you expand to the unseen. Feel gratitude for the air that fills your lungs, this invisible ocean of life that you swim in, offered freely and without condition. Feel gratitude for the miraculous intelligence that is beating your heart, digesting your food, and healing your wounds while you sleep, all without any conscious effort from you. Feel gratitude for the force of gravity, holding you safely on the surface of this beautiful planet as it spins through space. To feel this is to recognize yourself as the beneficiary of an endless stream of cosmic generosity. You shift from feeling like a struggling orphan to feeling like the beloved child of the universe. And finally, the most advanced and transformative practice of all, gratitude for your challenges. When you look at the reflection of lack in your life, can you find it in your heart to say, thank you? Can you say, thank you, empty bank account, for being a perfect mirror, for showing me so clearly the energetic signature of scarcity that I have been holding? You are not a punishment. You are a teacher. You are my guide, pointing me back to the inner work I must do. This is the ultimate act of alchemy. It transforms a trigger of fear into a tool for enlightenment. It dissolves all resistance, because you can no longer be at war with something for which you are grateful. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are a student of their wisdom. Gratitude is the master key because it is the only key that dissolves the lock itself. It is a declaration of trust in the fundamental goodness of the universe. It is the understanding that every reflection, whether pleasing or painful, is a gift of awareness. Gratitude is not what you feel after your blessings arrive. Gratitude is the frequency that calls the blessings forth. It is the prayer that is always answered. We have explored the active principles of creation. We have learned to find our signal in the stillness and to amplify it with the master key of the gratitude frequency. These are the powerful, masculine, yang energies of the creative process, the focusing of intent, the generation of feeling. But they are only half of the equation. There is a corresponding feminine, yin principle that is equally, if not more, crucial. It is a power found not in doing but in non-doing, not in generating but in allowing. It is the profound and often misunderstood power of the empty vessel. It is the art of releasing, which is the prerequisite for all true receiving. Many who embark on this path become masters of the active principles, yet still see no change in their reality. They meditate diligently, they cultivate gratitude fiercely, they visualize with intense focus. But they apply these sacred tools with the brute force of the ego. They are trying hard to manifest, working hard at surrendering. And in this very effort, they betray a deep-seated lack of trust, and they block the very flow they are trying to summon. Imagine you wish to receive a gift from the universe. The universe is a constant, generous giver, always seeking to pour its abundance into your life. But you, the intended recipient, are holding a cup that is already full to the brim. It is filled with the dense, heavy liquid of your own striving. It is filled with the sludge of your anxiety about the future. It is filled with the bitter sediment of your need to control the outcome. It is filled with the churning waters of your doubt. No matter how much the universe tries to pour its blessings, its opportunities, its insights, its wealth into your cup, there is simply no room. The divine gifts splash off the sides, unable to enter, because you are clinging so tightly to your own effort. This is the great paradox of creation. Your desperate need for a thing is the very energy that repels it. Your tight grip on how it must unfold is the very force that prevents it from unfolding. You cannot receive a gift with a clenched fist. The universe is constantly raining down the answers to your prayers, but you are standing in the downpour holding your hands in tight, white-knuckled fists, wondering why you are still so thirsty. The art of releasing is the art of unclenching your fist. So what does it truly mean to release? It is essential to understand that releasing is not giving up, it is not apathy, it is not abandoning your desires and resigning yourself to a life you do not want. That is an act of despair, which is a low-frequency prayer for more things to despair about. Releasing is an act of supreme faith. It is the conscious and willing transfer of your desire from the clumsy, anxious hands of your ego to the infinitely capable and wise hands of the universe or your higher self. It is the ultimate expression of trust. When you truly release, you are dropping your attachment to the outcome, not the desire itself. This involves releasing 3 specific things. First, you release the how. Your limited human mind can only conceive of a few, often difficult, pathways to your desire. You believe you must get that specific job, or win that specific contract, or meet that specific person. You become obsessed with this one narrow channel. In doing so, you close yourself off to the million other, more magical and effortless channels that the universe has available. Releasing the how is like going to a master chef's restaurant, placing your order for a beautiful meal, and then trusting the chef to prepare it. You do not storm into the kitchen and tell the chef which pans to use and how high to set the flame. You trust in their mastery. Place your order with the universe, and then let the cosmic chef do their work. Second, you release the when. The ego lives in a state of perpetual impatience. It wants everything yesterday. This impatience is a form of doubt. It is a declaration to the universe that you do not trust its timing. You are constantly digging up the seed to see if it has sprouted yet, and in doing so, you kill the very life you wish to cultivate. Releasing the when is a profound surrender to divine timing. It is the deep knowing that every desire has its own sacred gestation period. The seed will sprout and the fruit will ripen at the perfect moment for the most beautiful harvest. Your impatience cannot speed this up. It can only disrupt it by introducing the resistant energy of doubt into the process. Third, and most importantly, you release the need to control. This is the deepest pattern of the ego. It believes it is the sole captain of the ship, and if it lets go of the oars for even a moment, the ship will be dashed upon the rocks. It micromanages, it worries, it strategizes, it obsesses. To release control is to fire the frantic captain and to allow the gentle, silent current of the river to guide the boat. It is the ultimate act of surrender, a declaration that you trust the flow of life more than you trust the fears of your ego. When you release the how, the when, and the need for control, you create a space within you. You create a void. In our culture, we are terrified of emptiness. We fill every moment with noise, with tasks, with distractions. But in spiritual physics, the void is not a negative space. It is not a vacuum of lack. It is the sacred void. It is the womb of all creation. It is the field of pure potentiality, waiting for an instruction. By emptying yourself of your striving, your anxiety, and your neediness, you become this sacred void. You become an empty vessel, and an empty vessel is the most powerful, attractive force in the universe. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you create this inner space of calm, receptive, trusting allowance, the energy of the universe must, by law, rush in to fill it. Ideas, people, resources, and synchronicities that you could never have planned or forced will begin to flow into your life, drawn not by your effort, but by the irresistible magnetism of your emptiness. Your value, in this stage of creation, is not in your fullness, but in your capacity to be filled. How then do you practice this art of opening the hand? It is a conscious choice, a practice you can engage in throughout your day. Right now, bring to mind the desire you have been holding on to most tightly. Imagine you are literally holding it in your right hand. Feel the energy of it. Now, clench your fist around it. Squeeze it. Feel the tension in your fingers, your wrist, your forearm, your shoulder. This is the energy of striving, of controlling, of fearing its loss. This is the state in which you have been living. Now, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, consciously, deliberately, begin to uncurl your fingers, one by one. Feel the tension release. Open your palm and turn it upward to the sky, as if you are offering this precious desire up to the sun. The desire is still there, resting on your open palm, but the grip is gone. The struggle is over. Feel the immense relief that flows through your entire being. This simple physical act is a powerful ritual for an inner, energetic shift. Do this whenever you feel yourself beginning to strive or worry. Open your hands, release. You have done your active work. You have found your resonance. You have activated your gratitude. Now, your final and most powerful task is to get out of the way, to become the empty vessel, defined not by what it holds, but by its infinite capacity to receive. The universe is not waiting for your struggle, it is waiting for your surrender. We have now explored the profound, receptive power of becoming the empty vessel, of releasing our anxious grip and creating the sacred space for the universe to fill. This is the divine act of receiving. But the cosmic law of prosperity is not a one-way street. It is a complete and perfect circuit. To only receive is to become a stagnant pond. To participate fully in the dance of creation, you must learn the corresponding art of giving. You must understand that the exhale is as vital as the inhale. You must master the divine transaction, where the act of giving is not one of loss, but is the very mechanism that keeps the channels of abundance open, clear, and ever expanding. In the scarcity-based consciousness that you have been taught, giving is an act fraught with fear. The ego, forever trapped in the logic of a finite world, sees giving as depletion. Its accounting is simple. If I have $10 and I give one away, I now have only 9. If I have 1 hour of free time and I give it to another, my own time is diminished. This logic creates a deep-seated fear of generosity. It leads to a state of energetic hoarding. We cling to our resources, our time, our knowledge, believing that we must first accumulate enough for ourselves before we can afford to be generous. But enough is a phantom destination that the ego never reaches. This mindset, born from the scarcity echo, is the very act of building a dam across the great river of abundance. You may have a small reservoir of water behind your dam, but the river itself, the living flowing source, is blocked. The water in your reservoir becomes still, then stagnant, then murky. In the same way, when you hoard your money, your energy, or your love out of fear, you create energetic stagnation in your life. The flow ceases. Your reality becomes constricted, lifeless, and lacking the fresh, vitalizing current of universal grace. We must now dismantle this fearful logic and replace it with the physics of flow. The universe is not a static warehouse of goods. It is a dynamic and infinite river of energy. This energy must move. Blood must circulate to bring life. The breath must be exchanged, in and out, to sustain you. To stop the flow is to invite decay and death. Giving is the sacred act that ensures your participation in this universal flow. It is the most powerful physical affirmation you can make. When you give, you are performing a holy ritual. You are making a profound declaration to the unwavering mirror of the universe. With every dollar, every moment of time, every word of encouragement you give freely and joyfully, you are screaming into the cosmos an unshakable statement of faith. I have more than enough. My source is infinite. I live in an abundant reality, and I trust in the endless flow. The universe, which can only reflect your deepest beliefs, hears this powerful declaration of abundance and must, by law, reflect more abundance back to you. Now contrast this with the affirmation you make when you hoard. By clinging tightly to what you have, you are sending out an equally powerful signal of fear. There is not enough. I might run out. The universe is a stingy and unreliable place. I am on my own. The mirror receives this terrified prayer and dutifully reflects a reality that validates it. A reality where resources are scarce and you are indeed on your own. You see, the universe does not reward hoarding, it rewards flow. Think of your breath. You cannot simply keep inhaling. The desire to only receive, to only take in, is like trying to only breathe in without ever breathing out. Very quickly, your lungs will be painfully full, you will be unable to receive any more life-giving oxygen, and you will suffocate. To receive the next deep, nourishing breath, you must first let go. You must exhale completely. Giving is the great exhale of the soul. It is the act of releasing what you have in trust, thereby creating the necessary vacuum for the next, even deeper, inhale of prosperity to be drawn effortlessly unto you. It is crucial, however, to understand the nature of a truly divine transaction. Not all acts of giving are created equal. The power is not in the transaction itself, but in the energy, the feeling, the vibrational currency with which it is infused. You can give from a place of lack, or you can give from a place of fullness. When you give out of a sense of obligation, guilt, or a subtle desire to be noticed and praised, you are performing an ego transaction. You give, but there is a hook in it. You are subconsciously expecting a direct one-to-one return. This kind of giving often feels depleting and draining because it is rooted in the energy of, I am giving something away that I need, and I had better get something back for it. It is a fearful transaction, and it affirms lack. A divine transaction is one that is made from a genuine, heartfelt feeling of fullness and joy. It is giving without any hook, without any expectation of return from the recipient. You give simply for the joy of being a conduit for generosity. You are not trading with the person you are giving to. You are participating in a sacred dance with the universe itself. When you perform a divine transaction, you give $1 not with the feeling that you now have one less, but with the expansive feeling that you are a channel for an infinite source of wealth. You give an hour of your time, not with a sense of depletion, but with the feeling that you are a vessel for an eternity of creative energy. This feeling is the vibrational currency that the mirror reflects. And because you are not attached to receiving from that specific channel, the universe is free to return the blessing to you in a million different, unexpected, and often far grander ways. You may give $10 to a homeless person, and the next day, an old debt owed to you is unexpectedly repaid tenfold. You may give your patient attention to a friend in need, and a week later, a new mentor appears in your life, as if by magic. You are not making a trade. You are opening a valve. You are telling the universe, use me as a channel for your grace. And the universe responds by pouring even more grace through you. How do you begin to practice this? You start where you are. You do not need to wait until you are a millionaire to become a philanthropist. You become a philanthropist in your soul first, and the millions will follow. Start small, but with a grand energy. Leave a slightly larger tip than you normally would, and as you do, feel the expansive joy of being outrageously abundant. Let someone go ahead of you in traffic, not with resentment, but as a gift of time from your own infinite store. Give a genuine, heartfelt compliment to a stranger, a pure gift of positive energy with no expectation of anything in return. Practice an energetic tithe. Whatever abundance flows to you, whether it is $10 or 10,000, immediately set aside a small portion, even just 1%, to be given away joyfully and without designation. This act trains your subconscious mind out of the fear of lack and into the habit of flow. It is a constant affirmation of your trust in your source. Do not wait until you feel you have enough before you begin to give. Giving is the very act that creates the state of having enough. You are not a stagnant pond meant to hoard your blessings in fear. You are a magnificent river, meant to be a conduit for the ceaseless, joyous, and abundant flow of the cosmos. Allow the infinite wealth of the universe to flow to you by first having the faith to allow it to flow through you. We have now learned to complete the circuit of cosmic energy. We have learned to receive by becoming the empty vessel, and to keep the current moving by the divine act of giving. We understand the principles of flow. Now, we arrive at the domain of the Master Creator. We move from simply participating in the flow to consciously directing it toward a specific, desired outcome. We are about to approach the very loom upon which reality is woven. This is the art of imprinting your vision onto the field of all possibility. Ancient mystics and sages spoke of this field with reverent awe. They called it the Akasha, the mind of God, the book of life. Modern quantum physics, in its own language, is now pointing to the very same truth. It calls it the quantum field, the unified field, or the zero-point field. It is a timeless, spaceless ocean of pure, intelligent, vibrant energy that underlies and connects all of creation. This field is not empty space. It is the plenum, void, pregnant with infinite potential. Everything that has ever been, everything that currently is, and everything that could ever be exists within this field as a dormant, unmanifested probability, a silent wave of potential. A life of perfect health is a potential in this field. A life of poverty is another potential. The business that thrives, the relationship that blossoms, the idea that changes the world all exist here as silent, waiting blueprints. This field is infinitely malleable, infinitely intelligent, and perfectly impartial. It has no preference for manifesting a weed or a rose. It holds no judgment. It simply waits, like a faithful and unimaginably powerful servant, for a command from a conscious observer. You are that conscious observer. Your consciousness is the activating principle that dives into this ocean of what could be and commands a specific possibility to emerge into the world of what is. This is the highest form of your creative power. To work with this field is to move beyond reacting to the reflections in the mirror and to become the one who decides in advance what the mirror will show. Let us use a metaphor to make this tangible. Imagine that you are a master sculptor and you have been led into a vast, limitless studio. In the center of this studio is a block of formless, shimmering, living clay that stretches to infinity. This clay is the quantum field. It can become anything, but in its current state, it is pure potential. Now, how do you, the sculptor, give it form? Your thoughts are the initial sketch. When you think of a desire, a beautiful home, financial freedom, a healthy body, you are creating a faint outline, a fleeting suggestion of a form within the clay. This is a crucial first step, but it is also where most people stop. A mere thought lacks the power, the energetic density, to command the clay to hold its shape. The true tools of the sculptor, the hands that plunge into the living clay and mold it into a definite form, are your focused feelings and your unwavering belief. Your sustained emotion is what gives the sculpture depth and dimension. When you feel what it would be like to live in that beautiful home, the feeling of peace as you watch the sunset from your window, the feeling of safety and security, you are pressing your hands deep into the clay, shaping its contours, giving it substance. But there is one final crucial step. A clay sculpture, no matter how beautifully shaped, remains soft and vulnerable until it is fired in a kiln. The heat of the kiln is what transforms it from a malleable form into a hardened, enduring reality. In the world of creation, this kiln is your belief. It is your unwavering assumption that what you have imagined and felt is no longer a mere possibility, but a present fact. This is the most vital secret of conscious creation. You do not visualize your desire from the perspective of someone who wants it. You visualize your reality from the perspective of the person who already has it. You do not watch a movie of yourself receiving a check. You enter the state of the wish fulfilled. You feel the check in your hand. You feel the immense relief and gratitude flooding your body. You look out at the world through the eyes of the person who is already financially secure. This subtle shift in perspective from wanting it to having it is the fire that hardens your creation in the quantum field. You are not asking for a statue. You are embodying the feeling of being the finished statue and trusting the field to arrange itself around your embodied truth. Let us look at this through another lens. The quantum bank. The field of potential is a universal bank that holds an account for you with an infinite balance. You can never overdraw your account. The currency is limitless. The act of creation is simply the process of making a withdrawal. The withdrawal slip is your focused imagination. You must fill it out correctly for the transaction to be honored. On the line for the payee, you write your name. On the line for the amount, you write the essence of your desire, the feeling of freedom, of security, of joy, of love. But the most important part of the withdrawal slip is the signature line. The signature that authorizes the universe to release this reality to you is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. A signature of doubt, of neediness, of anxiety, or of impatience voids the check. The cosmic teller looks at this frantic, fearful signature and cannot authorize the transaction because it does not match the signature of the limitless being whose account you are trying to access. The signature that is always approved is the calm, confident, grateful feeling of thank you. It is done. When you enter a state of stillness or deep meditation, you are walking past the noisy, skeptical tellers at the front of the bank, your conscious, critical mind, and you are going directly into the vault. In the silence of the vault, you fill out your withdrawal slip. You vividly imagine and feel your desire as a present reality. You sign it with the absolute certainty and gratitude of the wish fulfilled. And this is key, you submit the slip and you walk out of the bank. You drop it, you release it. You trust the divine banking system to process the transaction, to constantly worry about it, to check for it, to wonder where it is like submitting your withdrawal slip and then calling the bank manager every 5 minutes to ask if the money is ready yet. This action only demonstrates your profound distrust in the system, and it delays the process. You must trust that the imprint has been made. Let us now outline the simple practice of imprinting. First, get clear on the essence. Before you visualize a specific thing, identify the core feeling you believe that thing will give you. Is it freedom, relief, joy, peace? The feeling is your true destination. The thing is just one possible vehicle. Second, enter the stillness. Use the breath. Use whatever technique brings you to a state of quiet, receptive awareness. Quiet the ego so the soul can work. Third, assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not visualize a long, complicated movie. Create a short, simple, sensory-rich scene or image that implies the wish is already a fact. Perhaps it is the feeling of your hand on the steering wheel of your new car. Perhaps it is a short loop of a loved one congratulating you. Perhaps it is simply looking at your reflection in the mirror with the deep, calm eyes of someone who has absolute peace of mind. Live in that short scene. Feel it with every ounce of your being until it feels more real than your current reality. Fourth, release it with gratitude. Emerge from your stillness not with hope, but with a quiet, knowing thanks. It is done. The seed has been planted in the fertile ground of the quantum field. Your job now is to not dig it up with doubt. You are not a beggar pleading with a stingy universe. You are a sovereign creator, making a deliberate withdrawal from your own limitless account. The quantum field is not something separate from you. It is the invisible, energetic extension of your own consciousness. Learn to command it with feeling, impress your vision upon it with faith, and then allow it, with grace and trust, to build for you the world you have already inhabited within. We have journeyed into the silent, internal realms of creation. We have learned to impress our vision upon the quantum field through the focused power of feeling and assumption. This inner work is the essential foundation. Now, we must bring this creative power outward. We must learn to align our spoken word with the reality we have chosen within. For your words are not merely sounds that describe your world. Your words are energetic commands that create your world. We must rediscover the forgotten magic of speech and learn to speak the code of creation with unwavering intention. In our modern world, we have degraded the power of language. We use our words carelessly as throwaway tools for gossip, for complaint, for criticism, for self-deprecation. We have forgotten what every ancient tradition on earth knew to be true. that the spoken word is a sacred and formidable creative force. In the beginning was the Word, the scriptures say. This word, or logos, signifies a divine creative vibration. The spells of the magician, the chants of the shaman, the mantras of the monk, the prayers of the devout are built upon this singular, universal principle. Speech shapes reality. Every word you utter is a container for a specific frequency. It is a packet of energetic information. When you speak, you are not just vibrating the air in the room, you are vibrating the quantum field itself. You are releasing a precise code, an instruction, into the responsive fabric of the cosmos. When you speak carelessly, you are like a painter flinging random handfuls of paint at a canvas. The result is a chaotic, muddy, and unintentional mess that you then call your life. When you complain about your lack of money, you are vibrating the field with the frequency of lack. When you speak of your illness, you are reinforcing the energetic pattern of illness. When you say, "I'll never be able to do that," you are issuing a powerful command that the universe, in its obedience, will rush to fulfill. To become a conscious creator, you must become a conscious speaker. You must trade your careless speech for sacred speech. You must understand that you are painting your masterpiece with every sentence and choose your colors with the precision of a master. To do this, we must first become acutely aware of the two distinct languages we can speak, the language of lack and the language of being. The language of lack is the default programming of the ego. It is the language you have been speaking your entire life. Let us dissect its most common phrases. When you say, "I want" or "I need," what are you truly declaring? You are making a powerful statement of absence. You are telling the unwavering mirror of the universe, "The reality I am currently inhabiting is one in which this thing is not here." The universe dutifully reflects this state of wanting back to you, and so you remain in a perpetual state of wanting. When you say, "I hope" or "I wish," you are speaking the language of powerlessness. You are affirming that the creative force is outside of you, in the hands of some external agency called luck or fate. It is a prayer of uncertainty, and it creates an uncertain reality. When you say, "I'm trying to," you are speaking the language of struggle and implied failure. The very word trying presupposes the possibility of not succeeding. It vibrates at the frequency of effort, not accomplishment. Now, let us turn to the language of the divine, the language of being. This is the language of the decree. A decree is not a request, it is a command. It is a statement of what is. And the two most powerful words of decree in the entire cosmos are, "I am." These two words are a direct invocation of your divine identity. The name of God in the ancient scriptures is often translated as, "I am that I am." When you place the words, "I am," before any state or condition, you are claiming that divine creative power as your own. You are taking the unformed energy of the universe and commanding it to coalesce into the form you have named. When you declare, "I am wealthy," your conscious, logical mind may immediately rebel. The ego will scream, "No, you're not. Look at your bank account. Look at your bills." Your senses will provide you with evidence to the contrary. The great work of the conscious creator is to persist in the declaration despite the evidence of the senses. You use the decree not to describe the reality you see, but to call forth the reality you choose. You use the words, "I am wealthy," as a vibrational tool to generate the feeling of wealth. And this feeling, as we know, is the currency that the universe honors. Let us think of this with our next metaphor. Every statement you make, especially one that begins with "I am," is a seed you are planting in the fertile soil of the quantum field. Words are seeds of energy. When you say, out of habit, "I am so tired and broke," you have just taken a seed labeled tired and broke and planted it firmly in the potent soil of your life. you have issued a clear instruction to the universe. The universe, which is a loving and obedient servant, will then provide the perfect conditions, the water, the sunlight, to nurture that seed into a strong, healthy plant of financial hardship and fatigue. It is only obeying your command. When you, with conscious intention, declare, "I am a powerful magnet for financial abundance and boundless energy," you have planted a new seed. At first, you see no evidence of it. The ground looks the same, but the seed is in there. It has been accepted by the soil. Your job now is to water that seed with your continued feeling and belief, and to protect it from the weeds of doubt that your ego will surely try to sow around it. You are the master gardener of your reality. Your words are the seeds you choose to plant each day. It is an immutable law that you cannot plant seeds of scarcity and expect to harvest a crop of abundance. You must choose your seeds with conscious care. How do you begin to practice this sacred speech? First, consider undertaking a verbal fast, a complaint fast. For one full day, or even just 1 hour, make a sacred agreement with yourself that you will not utter a single word of complaint, criticism, or self-deprecation. This simple practice will make you profoundly and uncomfortably aware of your habitual negative speech patterns. It will be a revelation. Second, consciously craft your decrees. Take the time to write down powerful "I am" statements that resonate with the reality you choose. They must be in the present tense, they must be positive, and they must feel expansive to you. I am the embodiment of perfect health. I am so grateful that abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am worthy of all the love, joy, and success the universe has to offer. Third, when you are in a private space, speak your decrees aloud. Do not whisper them with hope. Speak them with authority. Speak them as a king or queen would issue a royal decree, not as a beggar would ask for alms. Feel the power in your voice, in your chest. Your tone matters. Your conviction matters. You are not asking for permission. You are stating what is. Your words are wands, and your speech is a continuous act of creation. The universe is always listening, not to judge you, but to obey you. Stop using your powerful words to describe the prison you see. Start using them as the key to unlock the palace you choose to inhabit. Speak the code, and watch in wonder as the world reshapes itself in reverence to your word. We have now learned to consciously direct our creative power, both through the silent, internal imprinting of our feelings and the external, declarative power of our spoken decrees. We are learning to send a clear signal to the universe. But creation is not a monologue, it is a dialogue. The universe responds. It sends opportunities, people, and circumstances across our path in direct response to our broadcast. This is where a new level of mastery is required. How do we navigate these incoming responses? How do we discern which opportunity is a true gift from the universe and which is a distraction or a test? The answer does not lie in more mental analysis. The answer lies in the exquisite, untapped intelligence of your physical form. You must learn to trust your body as the infallible barometer of your soul. For most of your life, you have been taught to live as a disembodied head. You have treated your body as a vehicle, a taxi whose only job is to carry your brain from one meeting to the next. When faced with a decision, you retreat into the noisy attic of your mind. You make lists of pros and cons, you gather data, you poll the opinions of your friends and family. You engage in endless loops of analysis, trying to logically deduce the correct path. This purely mental approach is the source of profound confusion and regret. It leads to analysis paralysis, where you are so overwhelmed by conflicting data that you make no choice at all. Or it leads you to make decisions that look good on paper, but feel hollow and draining in your soul. You take the prestigious job that slowly crushes your spirit. You enter the partnership that checks all the logical boxes but leaves you feeling empty. This happens because the logical mind is a profoundly limited tool. It operates almost exclusively on past data and future projections, both of which are deeply colored by the fear-based programming of the ego and the scarcity echo. Your mind has no way of perceiving the actual present moment energetic truth of a situation, but your body does. You must begin to relate to your body not as a flesh and bone machine, but as a highly sophisticated energetic sensory organ. It is a crystalline structure, a biofeedback device of immense sensitivity, designed to perceive and interpret frequencies far more subtle than your 5 physical senses can detect. Every person, every place, every choice, and every opportunity has a unique energetic signature, a specific frequency. When your own energy field, which is centered in your heart, interacts with the energy field of a potential choice, your body has an instantaneous, involuntary, and deeply truthful somatic reaction. It is a direct data transfer that bypasses the slow and biased processing of your logical mind. This is the scientific and spiritual basis for what you have always called your gut feeling or your intuition. The vast network of neurons in your gut, often called the second brain, and the powerful electromagnetic intelligence of your heart are constantly processing this energetic information and translating it into a language you can feel, the language of physical sensation. This somatic guidance system has 2 primary signals, and your only job is to learn to recognize them. The first signal is expansion. This is the full body yes. When you consider a choice that is in true alignment with your soul's path, your body responds with a feeling of opening. You might feel a lightness in your chest, a sense of warmth spreading through you, a subtle feeling of excitement or effervescence, an unconscious desire to lean forward. It feels like your entire energy field is saying, "More of this, yes." This feeling can arise even if your logical mind has a long list of fears and doubts. The body's yes is a signal from a higher intelligence, confirming that this path, whatever its challenges, will lead to growth and greater alignment. The second signal is contraction. This is the full body number. When you consider a choice that is out of alignment with your soul's path, your body will instinctively recoil. You might feel a tightening or a knot in your stomach or solar plexus. You might feel a sudden heaviness in your shoulders, a subtle desire to pull back or even physically cringe. There might be a metaphorical bad taste in your mouth or a feeling of dread. It just feels off. This feeling is an alarm bell, no matter how perfect the opportunity may look on paper. The high-paying job, the attractive partner, the can't-lose investment if your body contracts. It is giving you a crucial piece of data that your logical mind cannot see. It is warning you that the frequency of this choice is not in harmony with your own. Think of your body as a perfect, living compass. Your soul, or higher self, knows the destination. It has already plotted the most joyful, efficient, and abundant course for your life. This course is your true north. When you are faced with a fork in the road, a decision to be made, you need only consult your internal compass. Present the option to your awareness, and the compass needle will instantly react. The feeling of expansion, joy, and openness is the needle swinging confidently toward true north. It is a clear and unambiguous signal to proceed. The feeling of contraction, dread, and heaviness is the needle spinning wildly or pointing directly south, away from your path. It is a clear signal to stop, to pause, to reevaluate. This is not the way, regardless of the logical arguments in its favor. It is vital to learn the difference between the ego's loud fear and the body's quiet knowing. The ego's fear is usually mental, chatty, and based on what-if scenarios. The body's no is a deeper, calmer, more physical sensation. It doesn't. We have now journeyed deep into the active principles of creation. You have learned to imprint your vision upon the quantum field, to speak your reality into being with declarative power, and to navigate your path by trusting the infallible compass of your body. You have placed your order with the universe. You have done the work. And now, you enter the most sacred, and for many, the most challenging phase of the creative process, the space in between. The gap between your inner knowing and its outer manifestation. It is in this gap that your greatest adversary arises. This adversary is not an external force, it is an internal energy, a friction you generate yourself. It is the force of resistance. Resistance is any thought, feeling, or action that stems from the core belief that it isn't here yet, or worse, it isn't working. It is the static that disrupts the clear signal you have sent. It is the shadow cast by the ego's doubt and fear, and it is the single greatest impediment to receiving what you have asked for. Resistance takes on many forms, and you must become a master at recognizing them. Think of them as the bricks you use to build a dam that blocks the flow of your own good. One of the heaviest bricks is impatience. It is the anxious, frantic energy that demands the result now, on your ego's timeline. It is a profound statement of distrust in the cosmic process. Another brick is doubt. It is the voice of the inner cynic, the hyper-rational mind that whispers, "This is all nonsense, it's not real, you're just fooling yourself." Every time you entertain this voice, you are adding another brick to the wall. Then there is the brick of worry. This is the act of using your powerful imagination, the very tool of creation, to visualize negative outcomes. You are praying for what you do not want. Another brick is frustration. This is anger directed at the unwavering mirror for not reflecting your desire fast enough. You become angry at your circumstances, forgetting that they are merely a reflection of your past vibration. And finally, there is the insidious brick of obsessive checking, constantly looking for the evidence, checking your bank account, looking at your email, asking, "Is it here yet? Is it here yet?" This act, more than any other, screams to the universe your belief in its absence, thereby commanding that absence to continue. These are the bricks of resistance. They are not moral failings. They are deeply ingrained habits of a mind conditioned for scarcity, but they are profoundly counterproductive to the magic you are weaving. Let us now anchor this with our central metaphor. Imagine that all the abundance you desire, the wealth, the love, the health, the creative ideas, is a great, powerful, magnificent river. By its very nature, this river is flowing, with infinite force and generosity, directly toward you. You do not need to earn its water. You do not need to pull it towards you. Its destination is you. Its very purpose is to nourish you. The creative work you have done, the imprinting, the decreases simply placed you on the map for this specific river of good. Now, resistance is the act of standing in the path of this oncoming river and, with your own two hands, building a dam. Every time you feel a pang of impatience, you heave a heavy boulder into the current. Every time you allow yourself to spiral into doubt, you are mixing cement and pouring another section of the wall. Every obsessive check for evidence is another frantic act of reinforcement on your dam. Over time, with these repeated acts of resistance, you construct a massive, formidable barrier that blocks the very flow you are praying for. And then what happens? You stand on the dry side of your self-made dam, thirsty, parched, and desperate. You look up at the sky and cry out, "Why is this not working? Where is the abundance I was promised?" You are cursing the river for not arriving, completely oblivious to the fact that you yourself are the architect of your own drought. Meanwhile, on the other side of the dam, the river of your good is still there. Its pressure is building. You can feel this pressure in your life as anxiety, as tension, as stress, as a sense that something is about to burst. The universe is trying to deliver its gifts, but you will not let them in. The most profound realization on this path is this: your work is not to push the river. You cannot make it flow faster. Its power and speed are already infinite. Your sole task is to get out of its way. Your work is to systematically and patiently dismantle the dam. Your path to receiving is one of subtraction, not addition. It is the sacred art of allowing. To allow is to consciously and deliberately release resistance. It is an active state of surrender, a willing return to trust and flow. So how does one practice this art? The first step is to learn to catch and release. When you notice a resistant thought or feeling a brick of doubt, a stone of worry, you do not fight it. You do not judge yourself for having it. You simply notice it with calm awareness, as if you were a scientist observing a phenomenon. Ah, there is the energy of impatience. I see it. In the moment of seeing it without judgment, you have separated yourself from it. It is no longer you. It is an energetic pattern you are observing. Then, you consciously choose to let it go. You drop the brick instead of placing it on the dam. You can visualize it dissolving into light, or simply exhale it from your body. You do not analyze its origins. You just see it, and you let it go. The second, and perhaps most powerful technique for dismantling the dam is distraction with joy. The most efficient way to stop building the dam is to simply walk away from it and focus on something else entirely. Stop thinking about your desire. Stop thinking about its absence. Instead, immerse yourself in an activity whose only purpose is to bring you into a state of present moment joy. Go for a walk in nature and marvel at the complexity of a leaf. Play with a child or a pet and absorb their uninhibited delight. Listen to a piece of music that makes your soul soar. Lose yourself in a creative hobby. When you are genuinely in a state of joy, appreciation, or playfulness, you are, by definition, in a state of non-resistance. You are vibrating at a high frequency that is incompatible with doubt and fear. While you are distracted with joy, you have stopped maintaining the dam, and the powerful natural current of the river begins to erode it on its own. Finally, you can use a gentle mental game to soften your focus and dissolve resistance. Instead of a demanding, contracted thought like, "Where is my money?" which is a heavy brick, you can shift to a playful, open-ended question like, Wouldn't it be nice if a wonderful, unexpected check just showed up? Wouldn't it be nice if I woke up tomorrow feeling full of energy and inspiration? This language softens the energy. It moves you from demanding to dreaming, from lack to playful possibility. It takes the pressure off and allows the universe some breathing room to work its magic. The state of allowing feels like relief. It feels like ease. It feels like the deep exhale after holding your breath for far too long. It is the feeling that things are working out, that you are guided, that you are fundamentally safe. This is the state where synchronicities multiply and grace becomes your normal experience. This is the feeling of the dam dissolving. Stop fighting the current. Stop trying to force the flow. You have done your work. Now the final piece of the work is to trust the process. Lay down your tools of resistance. Find a comfortable spot on the riverbank in the warm sun of gratitude, and simply allow the river of all good, which has always been flowing to you, to finally arrive. We have now explored the subtle, internal art of allowing. You have learned to dismantle the dam of resistance brick by brick, creating a clear channel for the river of abundance to flow into your life. This inner work is paramount. However, you do not live in a vacuum. You live in a world of other people, of competing demands, of endless requests for your time, your attention, and your energy. It is in this outer world that your newfound state of allowing faces its greatest test. If you do not learn to protect the sanctity of your energy field, all the inner work you do will be for naught. You will be trying to fill a bucket with a dozen holes in it. This brings us to a practice that may seem contradictory to a spiritual path of love and openness, but is in fact one of its most essential components. the practice of the sacred number. It is the art of protecting your energetic sovereignty. From your earliest days, you were likely conditioned with a deep-seated belief system that we can call the disease to please. You were taught, through direct and indirect means, that being a good person meant being agreeable, helpful, and accommodating at all times. Saying yes was seen as a virtue, a sign of kindness. Saying no, on the other hand, was framed as selfish, difficult, or unkind. This conditioning has turned many of the most sensitive and beautiful souls into energetic doormats. You say yes to social gatherings that you know will drain you. You say yes to taking on tasks at work that you resent. You say yes to listening to a friend's relentless negativity for hours on end. You say yes from a place of obligation, guilt, or fear of disappointing others. Each of these reluctant yeses is a significant leak in your energetic vessel. Every time you betray your own inner truth to please another, you create a dissonant chord in your own frequency. You lower your vibration. You introduce the dense energies of resentment, fatigue, and frustration into your field, the very energies that block the flow of abundance. You cannot possibly maintain the high, coherent frequency of joy, peace, and gratitude, the frequency of receiving gift. You are constantly allowing your life force to be siphoned away by people and activities that are out of alignment with your soul. We must radically reframe the meaning of the word no. A conscious, aligned no is not an act of rejection. It is a profound act of self-protection. It is not a word of selfishness. It is the sound that authentic self-love makes. It is the primary tool you have to exercise your energetic sovereignty. Imagine for a moment that you are the sovereign ruler of a beautiful, prosperous, and peaceful kingdom. This kingdom is your own energy field, your life. As a wise and benevolent ruler, you would not allow just anyone or anything to cross your borders. You would have guards at the gates to ensure that only that which contributes to the peace and prosperity of your kingdom is allowed entry. A sacred no is you, acting as the wise sovereign of your own life. You are not pushing the world away. You are simply deciding what you allow into your sacred domain. Every time you say no to something that feels draining or wrong, you are simultaneously saying a more powerful and resonant yes to something else. When you say no to a weekend of draining social obligations, you are saying a resounding yes to your own peace, restoration, and creative energy. When you say no to taking on a colleague's responsibilities, you are saying yes to excellence and focus in your own work. When you say no to a relationship that belittles you, you are saying yes to your own self-worth and making space for a love that honors you. Let us use our metaphor of the garden. Imagine your inner world, your consciousness, is a beautiful and sacred garden. Over the course of our journey together, you have been tending to it with immense care. You have pulled the deep-rooted weeds of scarcity and unworthiness. You have planted the precious seeds of your desires in the fertile soil of the quantum field. You have watered them with the light of gratitude and the gentle rain of stillness. Your garden is beginning to sprout. Delicate, tender seedlings are pushing their way toward the sun. Now, imagine this precious garden has no fence. Anyone can wander through. People who are not mindful can trample your fragile seedlings. Others, meaning no harm, might dump their own trash, their complaints, their negativity, their dramain your pristine flower beds, poisoning the soil. Without a boundary, your sacred space is constantly violated, and your creations cannot grow to their full potential. A boundary, a sacred no, is the strong yet graceful fence you build around your garden. The purpose of this fence is not to isolate you from the world. Its purpose is to protect the sanctity of your creative space so that your seeds can flourish into a magnificent harvest. And this fence has a gate, and you are the sole gatekeeper. You have the divine and absolute right to decide who and what you allow to enter. You can swing the gate wide open for the warm sunlight of uplifting people. You can welcome the gentle rain of nourishing information and inspiring art. You can invite fellow gardeners, supportive friends, and mentors to come and share in the beauty of your space. But you also have the sacred duty to yourself to keep the gate firmly closed to those who would trample your peace or poison your soil. A sacred no is you, standing peacefully at your gate and saying with calm, loving firmness, "I honor you, but you may not enter here. This space is sacred." Every time you do this, you are sending a powerful message to the universe. I value myself. I value my peace. I value my creations. I am worthy of a safe and protected space. The universe hears this declaration of self-worth and rushes to support it. Practicing this can be deeply uncomfortable at first, especially if you are a recovering people pleaser. You will be met with resistance from others who are accustomed to having unfettered access to your energy. Be prepared for this and stand firm in your love for yourself. Here is how to practice a graceful no. First, embrace the pause. You are not obligated to give an immediate answer. When a request is made of you, especially one you feel uncertain about, simply say, "Thank you for the invitation, opportunity. Let me check my schedule, energy, and get back to you." This pause is a sacred space. It allows you to move out of a reactive state and consult your body's barometer. It gives you time to ask, is this a full-body yes or a full-body no? Second, practice the simple, firm number. You do not owe anyone a long, elaborate excuse or apology for protecting your energy. A simple, "Thank you, but that's not going to work for me," or "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'll have to pass," is complete. Any justification you add is often more for your own comfort than for theirs, and it can open the door for negotiation where none is needed. Your peace is your power. Your energy is your most precious currency, the very substance with which you build your life. Protecting it is not a luxury. It is a non-negotiable prerequisite for living a prosperous, joyful, and divinely guided life. Each time you use your sacred no to honor your truth, you are reinforcing the fence around your garden, allowing the magnificent life you are planting within to grow strong, safe, and undisturbed. Guard your peace well, for in your peace you will find your power. In your power you will find your freedom. We have journeyed together through the intricate laws of creation, learning to align our inner world to call forth abundance in the outer world. We have learned to protect our precious energy by wielding the sacred number. A vital question now arises. For what purpose do we cultivate this high, clear frequency? If your journey's sole destination is a larger number in a bank account, you are undertaking a great spiritual pilgrimage only to arrive at a beautiful, but ultimately empty, palace. It is time now to expand our vision, to zoom out from a narrow focus on one form of wealth, and to embrace the holistic, magnificent tapestry of a truly prosperous life. It is time to redefine what it means to be rich, moving from a wealth of having to a wealth of being. Our society has conditioned us to believe in a dangerous and flawed equation, that financial wealth is the cause of a happy and fulfilling life. We are sold the story of the narrow goal. This is the story that says, first you must secure the money, sacrifice your time, your health, your relationships, your peace of mind now at the altar of financial success. And then, one day, when you have enough money, you can buy back your time, fix your health, and find your peace. Many have successfully run this race. They have reached the pinnacle of financial success, only to find themselves in a state of profound spiritual poverty. They have a wealth of things, but they are bankrupt in joy. They have no time to enjoy their possessions. Their health has been shattered by stress and neglect. Their relationships are shallow or broken. They have no connection to their own creative spirit, and their minds are so filled with the anxiety of protecting their wealth that they have no access to peace. They have won the game the world told them to play, but they have lost themselves in the process. This is the great trap of materialism. It mistakes the symbol for the substance. Money is not the cause of freedom and joy. It is one of many possible effects of a state of being that is already free and joyful. Let us replace this flawed model with a more organic and truthful metaphor. Imagine your life is a magnificent tree. This is the tree of your being. Our culture is obsessed with one part of this tree, the fruit. The apples on the tree represent your financial wealth. Society relentlessly teaches you to count your apples, to polish them, to compare their size and number to your neighbor's apples. The entire worth of the tree is judged solely by the quantity of its fruit. But a wise gardener knows this is madness. A wise gardener knows that the apples are merely the final, seasonal expression of the tree's overall health and vitality. To focus only on the fruit is to ignore the very systems that create it. The path to a sustainable, abundant harvest is not to try and staple apples onto the branches of a sick tree. The path is to nourish the entire tree. Let us look at the other, more vital forms of wealth that this tree represents. The deep, unseen root system is your wealth of peace. These roots are your connection to the stillness within, your trust in the universe, your spiritual foundation. Without a strong root system, the tree is shallow, unstable, and can be toppled by the first strong wind of life's challenges. The thick, solid trunk of the tree is your wealth of health. This is your physical vitality, your life force, the vibrant energy that allows you to experience the world. A diseased or damaged trunk cannot support a full canopy of branches, no matter how much you wish it would. The strong, sprawling branches are your wealth of relationships. This is your connection to others, your friends, your family, your community. It is the joy of authentic love, deep communion, and mutual support. A tree with few branches is a lonely, stark figure, and the green, vibrant leaves are your wealth of time and creativity. The leaves are where the tree breathes. They are where the magic of photosynthesis happens, turning sunlight into life-giving energy. This represents your spaciousness, your free time, to simply be, to play, to create, to lose yourself in activities that have no purpose other than the joy they bring you. Now you see the wisdom of the gardener. If you want more apples, you do not fixate on the apples. You water the roots by practicing stillness and meditation. You protect the trunk by honoring your body with good food, movement, and rest. You nurture the branches by investing your presence and love in your relationships. You ensure the leaves have access to the sun by creating sacred, unstructured time for joy and creativity. When you do this, when you tend to the entire ecosystem of your being, a healthy tree cannot help but produce a bounty of perfect fruit. Financial abundance becomes the natural, inevitable, and effortless byproduct of a life that is already rich in every other way. Let us speak plainly of these other currencies, for they are the true treasures. To be rich in time is not to be idle. It is to possess sovereignty over your own hours. It is the freedom to get lost in a conversation without glancing at your watch. It is the spaciousness to take a walk in the middle of the day for no reason at all. It is the feeling that time is your ally, a wide open field to play in, not a narrow corridor you are rushing through. To be rich in health is not merely the absence of illness. It is to wake up in the morning feeling a vibrant energy, a current of life force buzzing in your cells. It is to inhabit a body that is a capable and joyful partner in your adventures, a source of pleasure and strength, not a source of pain and limitation. To be rich in love is to have a life populated by deep, authentic connections. It is the wealth of knowing you are seen, heard, and cherished for who you truly are. It is the immeasurable value of a shared laugh, a supportive hand, and a heart you can call home. And to be rich in peace is perhaps the ultimate luxury. It is to possess an inner citadel of calm that remains undisturbed by the chaos of the outer world. It is the quiet mind, the trusting heart, the unshakable knowing that all is well, regardless of the temporary reflections in the mirror. This understanding requires a great inversion of the priorities the world has taught you. The world says, first, secure the money, and then you will have the freedom to cultivate health, time, and peace. This is a treacherous lie. The law of the universe is precisely the opposite. First, cultivate a life that is truly rich in peace, in health, in love, and in time. Embody this state of holistic abundance. Live as if you are already the wealthiest person on earth in these true currencies. And from that high, coherent, and joyful state of being, financial wealth will be drawn to you as a natural and effortless consequence. Stop chasing the apples. You are not an apple picker. You are the gardener of the entire tree of life. Fall in love with the process of nourishing your roots, strengthening your trunk, and celebrating your leaves. Redefine your goal. Aim for a life that feels so rich, so full, so blessed, that a massive bank account would simply be the cherry on top, not the entire cake. When you live from this state of holistic wealth, you activate a frequency so powerful and so attractive that the universe will have no choice but to shower you with apples, more than you could ever count. We have journeyed through the architecture of creation, from the foundational understanding of your own resonance to the practical applications of conscious speech and embodied intuition. We have learned to redefine wealth and to protect our sacred energetic space. All of these principles and practices can be seen as the deliberate training, the conscious conditioning, for arriving at an ultimate state of being. This is a state where the techniques themselves begin to fall away, where the conscious effort dissolves into unconscious competence. It is a state of grace, of magic, of profound ease. It is the flow state of prosperity. The journey so far has been like learning to ride a bicycle. The principles we have discussed are the training wheels, the stillness protocol, the gratitude frequency, the imprinting of vision, the decrees, the sacred. No, these are all essential tools to help you find your balance, to help you unlearn your old, dysfunctional habits of fear and lack, and to build new neural and energetic pathways of trust and abundance. But the ultimate goal is not to become a master of riding with training wheels. The goal is to internalize the balance so deeply that the training wheels are no longer necessary. The goal is to simply ride. The flow state of prosperity is this state of effortless riding. It is the culmination of your practice, where the principles are no longer things you do, but are simply who you are. Your default state of being becomes one of trust. Your natural emotional home becomes one of gratitude. Your perception is automatically attuned to abundance. The conscious, deliberate effort of the beginner gives way to the unconscious, integrated grace of the master. You no longer have to remind yourself to release resistance, because your system has learned that trust feels better. You no longer have to force yourself to feel gratitude, because your eyes have been trained to see the endless blessings that surround you. This is the state where you stop trying to manifest, and you simply allow your life to be a continuous manifestation of your aligned being. To truly grasp this state, let us use our most dynamic metaphor yet. Imagine the universe, the quantum field, is a vast and powerful ocean. The ever-changing circumstances of life, the opportunities, the challenges, the currents of change are the magnificent waves that are eternally rolling toward the shore. In this ocean, there are two kinds of people. The first is the novice, the struggler. This is the person operating from the ego and the scarcity mindset. They see the ocean as an adversary. They fight the water, flailing and splashing. They try to force their will upon the waves, paddling frantically against the current. When a large wave approaches, they see it as a threat and either panic or try to conquer it with brute force. Their experience is one of exhaustion, struggle, and of constantly being knocked over and submerged by forces they feel are beyond their control. This is the experience of living outside the flow. Then, there is the master surfer. The master surfer is the one who lives in the flow state. They do not fight the ocean. They have formed a deep, intuitive partnership with it. They understand that you cannot control the wave, but you can learn to ride it. They do not see the wave as an adversary. They see it as a powerful partner, a source of exhilarating energy to be harnessed. Watch the master surfer. Their effort is minimal, almost invisible. They are the picture of grace and ease. They paddle calmly, not with frantic effort, but with a deep sense of timing, conserving their energy. Using their embodied intuition, their body as a barometer, they can feel which wave is the right one. They turn their board, and as the powerful wave of opportunity rises up behind them, they do not resist it. They merge with it. They become one with its power. Their actions on the board are not frantic, pre-planned maneuvers. They are subtle, spontaneous, intuitive adjustments in response to the dynamic movement of the water. To the observer on the shore, it looks like magic. It looks effortless. This is you, living in the flow state of prosperity. You have ceased fighting the ocean of life. You have learned to read its currents, to honor its power, and to use its immense energy to glide gracefully toward your desires. What are the tangible characteristics of this state in your daily life? The first is the shift from motivated action to inspired action. Motivated action is a push energy. It comes from the ego. It is driven by shoulds, by discipline, by the need to prove something, or by the fear of falling behind. It feels like effort. Inspired action, on the other hand, is a pull energy. It comes from the soul. It arises spontaneously from a place of stillness and alignment. It is the sudden, light, joyful impulse to call a specific person, to visit a particular place, to start writing that book, to create that new business. There is no struggle in it. It feels exciting, easy, and energizing. When you are in the flow state, you learn to trust and act upon these inspired nudges without hesitation, knowing they are the universe whispering the next step in your ear. The second characteristic is a dramatic increase in synchronicity. Life begins to feel magical, as if it is conspiring in your favor. You think of a friend you haven't seen in years, and they text you that afternoon. You have a question, and the answer appears in a book you randomly open. You have a need for a specific skill, and the perfect person to help you sits next to you on a plane. These are not coincidences. This is the unwavering mirror providing you with instant, helpful feedback, confirming that you are in alignment. It is the universe winking at you, showing you that it is listening and responding to your harmonious signal. Third, you experience a distortion of time. When you are engaged in an inspired action, time seems to melt away. You become so absorbed in the joy of the present moment, in the act of creation itself, that hours can feel like minutes. The anxious, clock-watching energy of the ego dissolves. There is no rush, no impatience, because you are no longer trying to get to a future destination. You have realized that the joy is in the ride itself, not just in arriving at the shore. Finally, and most profoundly, the flow state is characterized by an absence of worry. This does not mean you never have a challenging thought. It means you no longer give those thoughts your energy or belief. There is a deep, unshakable, underlying trust that all things are working together for your highest good. You have stopped wasting your precious creative energy on visualizing negative outcomes because you are so fully and joyfully engaged in the positive unfolding of the present. It is vital to understand that you cannot force yourself into a flow state. The very act of trying to be in flow is a resistance that prevents it. The flow state is not another goal to be achieved. It is a grace to be allowed. It is the natural result of your consistent practice of the foundational principles. You cultivate the flow state by tending to your inner world. You go to the stillness to clear the channel. You use gratitude to tune your frequency. You protect your energy by honoring your no. You release your attachment to the outcome. You do this day by day, moment by moment. Your job is not to chase the flow. Your job is to diligently and lovingly remove all the things that are blocking the flow. The ultimate aim of this journey is not to become better at using techniques to get what you want. It is to become so fundamentally aligned with your true self that your life itself becomes a work of art, a dance of effortless creation. Stop trying to control the ocean. Become the master surfer. Trust the wave. It knows exactly where to take you. We have now explored the sublime experience of living in the flow state, that state of grace where you move in harmony with the universe and your desires manifest with effortless ease. It is tempting to see this as the final destination, to believe that once you have mastered the ability to align your frequency, the work is done. However, there is a crucial dimension we must now illuminate, a law that governs the quality, the sustainability, and the ultimate spiritual value of the abundance you attract. This is the law of energetic consequence, often known as karma. It is the great ethical compass that ensures the river of prosperity you create is a clean, life-giving force, not a torrent of murky water. It addresses a vital question: does it matter how your wealth is generated, as long as it is generated? The answer, from the perspective of cosmic law, is that it matters profoundly. A misunderstanding of these principles can lead one down a shadowed path. A person might learn to master their inner state and believe they can now use this power to manifest wealth through any means necessary, through deceit, through the exploitation of others, through creating products or services that cause harm, or through sheer indifference to the well-being of the planet. They might believe, as long as I maintain my high vibration and my feeling of abundance, the universe must deliver, regardless of my actions. This is a dangerous and shallow interpretation of a deep and sacred truth. It is an attempt to use divine laws for egoic ends. The universe is not a cosmic vending machine that dispenses rewards based on feeling alone without regard for consequence. It is a unified, intelligent, and deeply interconnected web of consciousness. You cannot poison one strand of the web without that poison inevitably traveling through the threads and returning to you. The law of karma is not a system of punishment and reward meted out by an external judgmental God. It is a simple, impersonal, and unavoidable law of energetic physics, as real as the law of gravity. For every action, there is a corresponding reaction. Every act you perform, every intention you hold, releases a specific frequency into the field, and that frequency, by law, must complete its circuit and return to its point of origin. To truly understand this, we must grasp that currency is not inert. Money is not just paper, metal, or digital pixels. It is a conduit for energy, and the energy it carries is not neutral. It is indelibly imprinted with the consciousness, the intention, and the karmic quality of its creation. All money may look the same, but it does not all feel the same in the subtle, energetic realms of your being. There is what we can call the currency of integrity. This is wealth that is generated through acts of genuine service, authentic creativity, and fair, transparent value exchange. It is the money that flows to you because you used your unique gifts to solve a real problem for someone. It is the income you receive for creating art that uplifts the human spirit, for building a business that operates with integrity and respect for all, for contributing your skills to a project with a passionate and open heart. This currency is imbued with a high, coherent, and clean frequency. It is saturated with the energies of gratitude, mutual benefit, appreciation, and goodwill. When this kind of wealth flows into your life, it does more than just pay your bills. It nourishes your soul. It supports your peace of mind. It feels clean, light, and expansive. It is a source of joy, not just security. Then, there is the currency of dissonance. This is wealth that is generated through actions that are out of alignment with universal harmony. It is money made from deception, from exploiting the labor or ignorance of others, from selling products that create addiction or harm, from cutting corners in ways that damage the environment or betray trust. While this currency can certainly be accumulated, often in vast quantities, it carries a heavy, chaotic, and dissonant energetic signature. It is imprinted with the low frequencies of greed, of fear, of manipulation, and often of the pain and loss of others. To possess this kind of wealth is to invite a subtle poison into your life. It may buy you a mansion, but it will fill that mansion with the energy of anxiety and paranoia. It may buy you luxury, but it will rob you of the deeper luxury of a clear conscience and a peaceful night's sleep. It is the kind of wealth that feels like a prison of gilded bars, a constant source of underlying spiritual unease that no amount of material possessions can soothe. Let us use a simple metaphor to make this distinction visceral. Imagine you are thirsty, and money is water, a substance you need to live. The universe presents you with two sources. On your right, there is a pure, clear mountain spring. The water is bubbling up from the heart of the earth, alive, cool, oxygenated, and full of life-giving minerals. To get this water requires some conscious effort. You must follow the path up the mountain. You must respect the source. This is the path of integrity, of service, of creating clean, authentic value. On your left, there is a stagnant, murky pool of water by the side of a dusty road. It is easy to access. You just have to bend down and scoop it up. This is the path of unethical shortcuts, of easy gain through questionable means. Now, both sources provide water. Both will quench your immediate thirst. But what are the long-term consequences? The water from the pure spring will not only hydrate you, it will vitalize you, energize you, and contribute to your overall health and well-being. It integrates into your system with harmony. The water from the stagnant pool, however, carries with it invisible dangers. It may be tainted with bacteria, with pollutants, with the energies of decay. It may solve your thirst in this moment, but it will introduce a sickness into your system that will manifest later as disease and decay. The currency of integrity is the living water from the spring. The currency of dissonance is the stagnant water from the polluted pool. You must choose your source wisely. Therefore, the true practice of prosperity is to align your flow state with an unwavering commitment to ethical and harmonious creation. The universe is eager to co-create with you, but it functions to support the expansion and well-being of the whole. When you align your personal desires with the well-being of the collective, your creative power becomes amplified 1,000-fold. Before embarking on any venture, before seeking to manifest any form of wealth, sit in the stillness and ask your soul these guiding questions. Does this path allow me to express my most authentic gifts in service to others? Does this path create genuine value and uplift those it touches? Does this path honor the web of life and contribute positively to the world? Can I walk this path with an open heart, a clear conscience, and a spirit of joyful service? If the answer that resonates from your core being, from your body's barometer, is a clear, expansive yes, then you know you are about to draw water from the pure spring. You can then apply all the sacred principles we have discussed with immense confidence, knowing that the prosperity you generate will be clean, blessed, and sustainable. It will bring you not just wealth, but wholeness. True abundance is not just about having a full bank account. It is about having a peaceful spirit. It is the deep, unshakable satisfaction of knowing that your material wealth is a direct reflection of the good you have poured into the world. This is the only kind of wealth that has the power to truly set you free. We have now explored the landscape of creation from every angle. You have learned to be the resonant source, the unwavering mirror, the conscious gardener, the master of flow, and the sovereign of your own energetic kingdom. You have imprinted your desires, spoken your decrees, and committed to a path of integrity. You have done all the things that a conscious creator does. And so you stand, in good faith, waiting for your creation to manifest in the physical world. It is here, in this pregnant pause between the inner vision and the outer reality, that you face the final and most profound test of your faith. It is the test of time. You must come to peace with and learn to trust in the perfect wisdom of celestial timing. Your ego, the part of your mind that operates on linear, logical, and fear-based programming, has a tyrannical relationship with time. It sees time as a straight line, a race to be won. It is obsessed with speed, with efficiency, with now. It believes that if your desire does not manifest quickly, it must not be working, or worse, that it will never manifest at all. This impatience, this deep-seated fear of not enough time, is one of the most potent and subtle forms of resistance you will encounter. It is the sour note that can ruin the entire symphony. You may have done all the inner work perfectly, but if you spend your days in a state of anxious waiting, constantly looking over your shoulder for your manifestation, you are sending a powerful, contradictory signal to the universe. You are vibrating at the frequency of, "It's not here yet." This anxious need for it to happen on your ego's schedule creates a state of tension and contraction, effectively closing the very channels of receiving you have worked so hard to open. You become like a small child on a long journey, constantly asking from the back seat, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" This incessant questioning does not make the destination arrive any faster. It only fills the journey with an energy of misery and distrust. To truly step into the grace of effortless creation, you must abdicate the throne of the timekeeper. You must fire the frantic, clock-watching ego and surrender to the vast, multidimensional wisdom of the universe's own perfect timing. Celestial timing does not operate on a straight line. It operates within a holistic, interconnected web of infinite complexity and intelligence. The universe sees the entire tapestry of creation, while your ego can only see your own single, isolated thread. For your desire to manifest in the most perfect, harmonious, sustainable, and joyful way possible, a million other threads in that tapestry may need to be gently moved into position first. What you perceive as a delay is almost never a denial. It is a divine orchestration. It is a sign that the universe is working on your behalf in ways you cannot yet see. There are many reasons for this sacred pause. Sometimes the delay is for you. The universe may be lovingly withholding a manifestation because you yourself are not yet the energetic match for it. Perhaps you have asked for great wealth, but you have not yet fully healed the wounds of unworthiness or the fear of lack. To receive that wealth now would be to pour water into a leaky vessel. You would likely lose it, misuse it, or be consumed by the anxiety of managing it. The perceived delay is actually a grace period, a loving space provided by the universe for you to grow into the person who can hold your desire with ease and wisdom. At other times, the delay is for others. Your desire may be interconnected with the lives of other people who all possess their own free will and are on their own sacred journeys. The universe is a master choreographer, gently nudging all the players into their perfect positions so that when your desire does manifest, it does so with maximum harmony and benefit for all involved. Perhaps the person who is meant to be your perfect business partner is currently finishing another project. Perhaps the perfect home for you is currently occupied, and its residents are being guided toward their own next perfect step. You must trust that the universe is conducting a symphony, not just playing your solo. And often, the most benevolent reason for a delay is that the universe has heard your prayer, but is in the process of building a far more magnificent answer than the one you asked for. Your limited mind may have asked for a small cottage, but the universe knows your soul's true desire is for a sprawling estate. The delay you are experiencing is the extra time the universe needs to build the grander vision. It is whispering to you, be patient. What I am preparing for you is so much better than what you settled for. To anchor this understanding, let us use our most patient metaphor. You are a wise gardener. You have found a rare and precious seed, the seed of your heart's true desire. You have prepared the soil of your mind with the rich compost of your inner work. With sacred intention, you have planted this seed in the fertile ground of the quantum field. You have watered it with the genuine feeling of gratitude, knowing that this is the living water that awakens its life force. You have done everything a master gardener must do. Now, the seed is in the earth. It has entered the great mystery. Its germination is a silent, sacred process that happens in the dark, beneath the surface, completely hidden from your view. The seed is breaking open. It is sending down tender roots to find nourishment. It is gathering its strength to push a fragile shoot up toward the light. This entire process has its own innate, inviolable, and perfect timing. What would an impatient, foolish gardener do? Every morning, consumed by doubt and the need for control, they would go out to the garden, dig up the seed, and inspect it. Is it growing yet? Look, nothing is happening. This seed must be a dud. This act of digging up the seed, of constantly demanding evidence and distrusting the unseen process, is the one thing that can guarantee the seed will die. A wise gardener knows better. A wise gardener has absolute faith in the process of life. Once the seed is planted and watered, they know their most active work is done. Their job now is to trust the unfolding. They continue to tend the garden, yes, but their actions are different. They gently pull the weeds of doubt as they arise. They keep the soil of their mind moist with continued faith and gratitude, but they leave the seed alone. They surrender the outcome to the greater intelligence of nature, knowing it will sprout in its own perfect time. And then one morning, without any force or struggle, they walk out into the garden and see it. The delicate green shoot has broken through the soil, reaching for the sun. It has arrived, not on their anxious schedule, but on the flawless schedule of life itself. This is how you must relate to your desires. Plant your seed in the quantum field and then let it go. Trust the process. This does not mean you become passive and do nothing. It means you practice active trust. You live in the meantime. You find your joy now. You tend to the other parts of your tree of life. You do not put your happiness on hold, waiting for the manifestation. Living joyfully in the present moment is the highest and most non-resistant frequency you can hold, and it is the very energy that accelerates the graceful unfolding of your desires. When you feel the old pang of impatience arise, gently reframe it. Ask yourself, how might this pause be serving my highest good? What am I learning in this space? How is the universe using this time to prepare an even more wonderful outcome for me? This shifts you from a victim of delay to a curious and trusting partner in a divine orchestration. The universe is never late. The universe is never early. It always arrives precisely when it means to. Your desire has been heard, and it is on its way. Your final, sacred task is not to chart its course or to rush its arrival. Your task is to simply become the person who is ready, worthy, and open to receive it when it glides gracefully into the harbor of your life. Trust the unfolding. It is a masterpiece in the making. We have come to the end of a long and sacred road together. We have journeyed inward through the shadowed valleys of scarcity and unworthiness and climbed to the sunlit peaks of conscious creation. We have dismantled the prisons of the mind and uncovered the universal laws that govern the flow of all things. We have explored stillness and gratitude, giving and receiving, imprinting our vision upon the quantum field and trusting in the perfect timing of the great unfolding. This has been a journey of learning, of practice, of deconstruction and reconstruction. But it is crucial to understand that the purpose of any true spiritual path is not to accumulate knowledge or to become a master of techniques. The purpose of the path is to eventually render the path itself obsolete. It is to walk a road that leads you, finally and irrevocably, back to the truth of yourself. The final step of the journey is the realization that there is nowhere left to go, nothing left to learn, and no one left to become other than the magnificent being you already are. This is the final stage, the embodiment of the golden frequency. It is the shift from seeking the code to being the living code. At the beginning of this journey, you saw yourself as a seeker. You were looking for answers, for secrets, for a map that would lead you out of a reality of lack and into one of abundance. Then, as you began to integrate these principles, you became a practitioner. You were one who uses the tools. You practiced stillness. You cultivated gratitude. You consciously chose your thoughts and words. You worked to release resistance. This is a vital and necessary stage, like a musician diligently practicing their scales and chords day after day. The practitioner is actively and consciously doing the work of alignment. There is still a sense of separation between you, the practitioner, and the desired state you are working to achieve. But the final transformation, the one we are entering now, is the shift from practitioner to embodiment, from doing to being. To embody the golden frequency means that the practices are no longer practices. They have become your nature. You no longer need to set aside time to practice gratitude, because your entire perception of the world is now filtered through a lens of profound appreciation. You see blessings everywhere, in everything. You don't need to force yourself to trust the universe. Trust has become your natural resting state, as effortless as breathing. You no longer need to consciously visualize your desired reality, because you have so fully inhabited the state of the wish fulfilled that you now see the entire world through the eyes of an abundant, peaceful, and sovereign being. The musician is no longer practicing scales. They have become the music itself. They can now improvise a beautiful, harmonious melody in any moment, because the principles of music flow through them without thought. This is the state where you stop trying to attract prosperity. The very concept of attraction implies a separation, that you are here and the thing you desire is over there. In the state of embodiment, this separation dissolves. You are no longer a magnet pulling wealth towards you. You have become a sun, radiating the light of your own inner richness, and prosperity is simply the vibrant, thriving ecosystem that naturally flourishes in your warmth and light. It is no longer something you get. It is a reflection of what you are. Let us complete our journey with one final metaphor. At the start of this path, you saw yourself as a single silent instrument in a vast cosmic orchestra, hoping to be handed the sheet music with the right notes to play. Then, through your learning, you discovered you were more like a tuning fork. You realized your primary job was to find your own true, authentic note, and to vibrate with it so consistently that other instruments and energies of the same frequency would naturally begin to resonate in harmony with you. This was the powerful stage of conscious attraction. But the final, ultimate realization is this: you are not a single instrument. You are not just one tuning fork. You are the entire symphony. And more than that, you are the composer who wrote the music. You are the conductor who guides its flow. And you are the concert hall in which the entire performance takes place. Consider this. You are the composer. Your soul, your higher self, has written the grand overarching theme of your life, a theme of expansion, joy, and the discovery of its own divinity. You are the conductor. Your conscious awareness, your focused intention, is the baton that directs the energy, calling forth the different sections of the orchestra at the perfect time. setting the tempo and the dynamics of your reality. You are the symphony itself. The rich and complex interplay of your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions creates the multi-layered music of your daily experience. And you are the concert hall. Your vast, infinite consciousness is the very space in which this entire symphony of reality unfolds. There is no separation anywhere. It is all you. When you fully embody the golden frequency, your life becomes this beautiful, harmonious composition. It is not just the single note of financial wealth. It is the soaring strings of loving relationships, the powerful brass of vibrant health, the deep, resonant percussion of unshakable peace, and the playful woodwinds of creativity and joy, all playing together in a perfect, magnificent concert. So the search is over. You have arrived where you always were, but you now know the place for the first time. The sacred codes we have spoken of are not external pieces of information you have learned. You have come to realize that the journey was never about acquiring them. It was about recognizing that you are them. You are the stillness at the center of the storm. You are the gratitude that unlocks the gates of heaven. You are the unwavering faith that a seed will sprout in the darkness. You are the generous and ceaseless flow of the divine. You are the living, breathing embodiment of abundance itself. You are not a seeker of the light. You are the source of the light. You are not a user of the code. You have become the living code. There is nothing left to do but this. Be this truth. Live this truth. Radiate this truth, effortlessly and joyfully in every moment. And the entire universe, in all its boundless splendor and magnificence, will have no choice but to rearrange itself in a perfect reflection of the glorious golden frequency that you have finally and fully become. And so, our journey together comes to a gentle close. We have traveled far, not across miles, but across dimensions of consciousness. The purpose of this journey was not for you to acquire another layer of complex knowledge. You did not come here to learn. You came here to remember. You came here to shed a skin that was never yours to begin with. The skin of scarcity, the skin of unworthiness. The skin of the frantic seeker who believes the treasure lies somewhere outside of themselves. Feel the lightness now, in the space where those heavy illusions once resided. What is left when all that is not you has fallen away? What is your work now, in this new reality? Your work is simply to be. Hold this final image in your heart. See yourself as a great beacon, standing on the silent shores of eternity. Your foundation is solid, rooted in the truth of your own being. Your inner light, the golden frequency you have uncovered, is brilliant and steady. The nature of a beacon is not to chase after the ships at sea. It does not worry if the ships can see its light. It does not shout for their attention. It does not concern itself with the currents or the tides or the routes the ships must take. Its sole purpose, its sole joy, its entire magnificent function is simply to shine. This is you. Your only task now is to shine, to radiate the frequency of your own authentic being, which is peace, which is love, which is wholeness. Do not worry about which ships of prosperity, which vessels of opportunity, or which companions of the soul are seeking your light. Do not entangle your energy in the logistics of their journey to your shore. Simply stand in your truth and shine. For in your pure, authentic light, you are broadcasting the most sacred code of all, the code of your own divinity. And the entire universe, with all its infinite riches and wonders, will rearrange itself to behold your radiance. The right and perfect opportunities have no choice but to navigate by your light. They are drawn to you not by your neediness, but by the undeniable gravity of your presence. Let this then be the gentle rhythm of your new reality, the quiet mantra of your soul. Breathe it in, feel it in your cells. I do not chase, I attract. I do not seek, I am. All that is mine now finds me. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to become. You are already whole. You are already home. Rest in this knowing. How do you cultivate this profound skill of embodied listening? You start by practicing on small, low-stakes decisions to build the muscle of trust. Begin a practice of the body scan check-in. Before making a choice, even a simple one, take a moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and bring your awareness out of your head and down into your body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the space your body occupies. Then, present the option to your awareness. For example, simply hold the thought of a particular project you might take on. Don't analyze it. Just present its energy to your body, and then listen. What is the very first sensation that arises in the first 1 or 2 seconds before your mind has time to build a story? Is there a subtle opening or a subtle clenching, a feeling of warmth or a chill, a sense of your body wanting to lean in or wanting to pull away? Trust that first subtle signal. Start with simple things. Body, do we want the apple or the banana? Body, do we want to go for a walk or read a book? By honoring the small signals, you build a relationship of trust with your own intuition. You are telling your body, I am listening to you. I value your wisdom. This practice will build your confidence so that when the big decisions arrive, the signal will be clear and you will have the courage to trust it. Your mind is a repository of the past. Your body is a receiver of the present. Your soul knows the future. The body is the bridge between them all. Stop living solely in the attic of your mind. It is time to inhabit the magnificent temple of your being. Trust the wisdom of your cells. It is the barometer of your soul, the compass of your truth, and it will never, ever steer you wrong.